All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. And we can pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. God damn it.
Hey, car in there. Come over here.
Hold on, y'all. See if you can go in that room. All right, we good. I don't know what is happening. I don't even want to fool. Touch that joint no more. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they which testify of me. When you would not come to me that you might have life, I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Sorry about that moment, Steph. I was trying to look in the message to see if to try to send a link to Nola, and that junk looked like it closed the whole room. Shalom, Quran, man. Yahuwah Baruch, bro. Amen, brother Craig, man. Shalom, man. Shalom, Jay. Shalom, Mika. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, you wives in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, that they also may, Shalom, brother Robert, may without the word be won by the conduct of the wives, while they behold your chaste conduct with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold and of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet ruach, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. What's happening, so? Peace on my man. After this manner, in the old time, the Kadash women also who trusted in Elohim adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Shalom, Mother Shalom. Likewise, you husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Yes, sir. So this is what we're going to do. Because we got a few things, and I seen somebody got upset because we said Satan ain't Lucifer. That's a personal problem. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get upset with a lot of things instead of hearing out the matter and then making an assumption. And I say it again, as I said it before. Who told you Lucifer was the devil? And why did you believe it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of people go with a lot of things. You just ran off tackle. But one thing I do know, all you got to do is come holler at me. I tell you, I'll show you how I cook up my dope. See, I ain't like everybody else saying, no, I can't let you see. I'll bring you right in the kitchen. Show you what beaker we using, how much baking soda. You know what I'm talking about? Even how we hit it with the spoon and just let it lock. You know what I'm talking about? I don't put no cut on it either. Look at, she's shaking her head because she done seen it done. She seen it done. That's why she know what I'm talking about. I ain't mad at her. Shoot, I did it. In a microwave bowl and all. Big dog taught us how to make a homeboy from Harlem. I'm gonna leave that alone. You say Satan wish he was. You ain't lying. He wish he was. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them people lie to you. That doggone Catholic doctrine, man. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? I see you there, boy. You too, little bald head, boy. What we want to roll with it, man? Get that. Now, we don't numb it. You ain't got to no numb it. No numb it. Nah, man. I was tripping because I seen what his name is in the music video, Benny the Butcher. That boy had a beaker on it for his medallion. I said, that boy, that's wild. There's too many people see that. They don't know why he got that on there. I knew. That boy did some terrible things at one time in his life. That's what that meant. But give me Isaiah 51 and 1.
Say, hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness.
Paul, follow after what?
Righteousness.
Go back to 2 Timothy 2:22. Say he met Benny a few years ago at a show in Philly. Nigga look like he a cool nigga. Nigga old as hell though.
Yeah, he started rapping late. He had to put his work in.
That nigga need to go ahead and shave that junk off the side of his face. That nigga got Velcro on his chin and on his cheeks. That ain't no beard. Go ahead, man.
Say, flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith.
Follow what?
Follow righteousness, faith, love, shalom.
I just mentioned that because he said those that follow after righteousness. So what would that be? Well, I know what it'd be. John 6:25. One thing about me, boy, I put my cards on the table. The difference between is, like I said, that's an example, because I'm saying it because there's probably people on here who ain't never heard us go over that before. Man, we've been talking about that for a long time, so it ain't just something we just pulled out the hat. Sloan, Brother Marvin, man. Amen, man. I remember I was on my man Carl's show. The first time I was talking to him about it, he got upset. He said, You're being stubborn about it. I say, bruh, I just gave you 60 scriptures to support my stance. Why would I even say something to you if I didn't have the requisite information to back up why I'm saying what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying you got to agree with it. You know what I'm talking about? But don't come at me and you are already intent on not at least hearing out my side of the matter. Because I've heard people's side of the matter saying, nah, it's just the king of Babylon. Because you'll talk to some people and read Isaiah 14, they're going to tell you, no, that's talking about the king of Babylon. Because that's who's referenced in verse 1. You know what I'm talking about? And then everybody else will tell you it's the devil. You know, Nell used to throw people off because she would walk around with a t-shirt on that said, I love Lucifer. You know what I'm talking about? And people didn't know what to do with that.
They probably do that. She's crazy.
Can children go to hell? Show us doo-doo stink. Shalom, Sister Redeemer. But it wouldn't be necessarily because the child would be wicked as hell. It would be because the parents wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? Indeed it is. Yeah, it's just not like, oh, let's toss this random child into hell. You know what I'm saying? But if your if what scripture claim this? Shoot. Book of Joshua, chapter 7. Book of Numbers, chapter 16. When Korah wicked behind and him and his whole family died with him. You know what I'm talking about? And when Achan touched the accursed thing and his whole family died with him. You know what I'm saying? See, if anybody under your charge and you side with hell, you can get them taken out. And that's going to be on you. Now, if you're talking about the Valley of Hinnom, that's a different conversation. Because when you say, can a child go to hell? Hell is Sheol, and that's the grave. And sure as doo-doo stink, yeah, a baby can die. Without question. Who told you babies were supposed to be of age? Nobody told you that. You told yourself that. And now you have this expectation and you get mad with God because, well, why did my baby die? That's his baby. Who told you that baby was going to live to be 40? Who told you was going to live to be 70? Who told you was going to live as long as you living right now? Well, you on borrowed time, boy. You on borrowed time, man. You could your what you call it? Your time card can get punched at any time.
Hey, lead them alone. You
know what I'm saying? At any time. It's a lot of things we attribute to it should be this way. No, hell in Hebrew by definition is Sheol. Now, if you're talking about the lake of fire, that's a different conversation. You know what I'm talking about? Because if anybody died in sin, you are subject to go to the lake of fire. He didn't put an age limit on that. And when you're talking about dying in sin, you're talking about willfully. Like if you got a 9-year-old child and they're willfully committing sexual assault or they willfully murder somebody, they don't get absolved for that because they're 9. You know what I'm talking about? Book tell you a child ways is known whether he be good or whether he be evil. So, yeah, man, those are things that humans make up because you want to tell this man how he ought to run his show. Well, guess what you can do? Not necessarily you specifically. You become God, make all things in your image and likeness, create all things according to your word, and then you can run it how you want. You know what I'm talking about? But if you ain't got that type of power, guess what you got to do, Sid? You got to roll how he roll it. That'd be hard for us to understand, though, because we think, well, why won't he do it like this, or why won't he do it like that? I mean, he do it how he wants. But yeah, hell, by definition in Hebrew, is Sheol. People say hell, you know, they talk about the lake of fire, but scripturally, then that's why I said it that way, so you'll be able to understand the difference between the two. But scripturally, hell is the grave. Yes. Now, when you're talking about the actual lake of fire, it's a place called the Valley of Hinnom, the Valley of Tophet, or the Valley of Jehoshaphat. It's actually a place right outside of Jerusalem. It's like a garbage mound, and that place will be kindled with an eternal fire, and all those who have transgressed against Yahuwah would be placed in that place, and they will burn forever where the worm dies not, and the fire shall not be quenched. So at this present time, no one is in hell, if you would. Everybody in the grave. No, ma'am. Come on with it, good sir.
And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when came you here? Yahushua answered them and said,
That was John 6:25, by the way.
Truly, truly, I say unto you,
You see that, Jacksonville?
you seek me not because you saw the miracles,
Main Street Bridge.
but because you did eat of the loaves and were filled.
I was in fifth grade.
Labor not for the meat which perish, but for that meat which endure unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him have Elohim the Abba sealed.
That's how you follow after righteousness if you follow after the Lamb. Ain't that right? So let's go to Genesis 3:16.
You was out on no problem? You was out.
Oh no, I was in the county. I went to prison, 5 months later. Or 4 months later, whenever it was. I went to jail December 2nd, 2004. I mean, it ain't like I was gonna be down there for it anyway. I had no intentions of participating in any of those festivities.
You was gonna make some money.
That's all I was looking for. Freshen up, nigga. I'm looking to sell some drugs. That's the only thing I'd have been looking to do. At that time of my life, go party for what? Just to say I was at a Super Bowl party. I don't care nothing about that. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I was 24 at that. Man, who buying drugs? See, that's your problem.
You don't want to pop Diddy on me.
He wanted to get on Making the Band. He wanted to give a private audition. Woo, I need you to be naked. Let me see if you could be like Dylon. Can you spit some hot fire? I ain't talking about no rhymes. That's what he was gonna tell you. Johnny would have ran out there screaming, "No! No!" Just getting out of there. Go ahead, man.
Say unto the woman he said, I'll greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire to your husband, he shall rule over you.
Pause. So, you heard what he said? I multiply your sorrows. That's what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in your conception, right? Mm-hmm. Your desire gonna be to your who?
Your husband.
And he gonna what?
Rule over
now
you.
Watch how you see that right here in Isaiah 14, line for line, word for word. Ain't got to add nothing, ain't got to spice nothing, ain't got to hit it with no cut, ain't got to do nothing, but serve it to you the same way I got it. Isaiah 14:9. Matter of fact, let me establish what I told you beforehand. Isaiah 14:1. Is the one what we need? Yeah, 1 is fine. It's light matter.
Say, for Yahuwah will have mercy on Jacob.
He'll do what?
Have mercy on Jacob.
What else he'll do?
And will yet choose Yasharon.
And set them where?
In their own land.
And the stranger's going to be what?
Shall be joined with them.
And they shall what?
Cleave to the house of Jacob.
Okay, so that tell you right there, man. Get Zechariah 8:23 on the house. Dwayne Jamal. Come on. Look at your mama. Both of y'all rusty brown. Ooh, that's almost a noggin there, son.
Say, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Yahudim,
That is
saying,
a who?
a Yahudim,
And say what?
we will go with you, for we have heard that Elohim is with you.
Now, this he said, they cleave into the house of Jacob. 14-2, Isaiah. I'll make this quick because this ain't something y'all ain't never heard before. You done heard it too many times to be 100% honest with you. I'm not going to spend an inordinate amount of time on this conversation. Go ahead.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Yasharal shall possess them in the land of Yahuwah for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors.
They're going to rule over who?
Their oppressors.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall give you rest from your sorrow and from your fear and from the hard bondage wherein you was made to serve.
I want you to back it up. He said, the people shall take them and bring them in their place, and they're going to possess them, and they're going to take them captives and rule over who?
Their oppressors.
Go ahead and read me Psalm 68 and 18.
So you have ascended on high, you have led captivity captive, you have received gifts for men, yea, the rebellious also.
Now he said you've ascended on high and took captivity what?
Captive.
And he said they're going to rule over who?
Their oppressors.
Come and tell them what rule and oppressor is, man. That's right, Quran. Come on, blood.
That's nagas, suppress, drive to oppress, exact, exert, demanding pressure. A taskmaster, a ruler, an oppressor, a tyrant, Lord.
A taskmaster, a ruler, a Lord. John 8 and 30. I ain't trying to go too fast because Mother Sharona said last night I moved too fast. I'm trying to slide some of these in so we can get in and out of it. John 8 and 30.
Say, as he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Yahushua to those Yahudim which believed on him, if you continue on my word, are you my disciples indeed? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man.
We ain't never been oppressed.
How say you shall be made free? Yahushua answered them, truly, truly, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin.
Servant.
And a servant abide not in the house forever, and the son abide forever.
Forever.
The son therefore shall make you free.
You shall be
free indeed.
And he just said you'll rule over your oppressor, right? Don't he rule over death? Don't Romans 6 tell you to whom you lend your members to obey is to whom you obey? Come on back to Isaiah 14 and 3. Notice when he said that, well, you can read 4. Notice he said that from the hard bondage that you were able to serve. Now you've been free from that bondage. You no longer, he said, didn't he just say, if the son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed? He said, man, you're not in bondage anymore. I think that's in Galatians. Get that for me if you would, sir. Galatians chapter 4. You can start at verse 1. What's up, little Bible study? You all right? You look like you're stressed. You got your glasses on your nose.
I'm a little bit tired.
Understandable.
Now I say, the heir, as long as he is a child, defer nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, Elohim sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law.
Made under the who?
Made under the law.
What else?
To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because you are sons, Elohim has sent forth the ruach of his son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Abba. Wherefore you are no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of Elohim through Hamashiach. Howbeit then, when you know not Elohim, you did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now are that you have known, after that you have known Elohim.
Back up a little bit. Tell me what verse 5 say.
Say, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because you are sons, Elohim hath sent forth the ruach of his son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Abba. Wherefore you are no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of Elohim through Hamashiach.
If you're no longer a servant to sin, a servant to the flesh, then you're no longer in bondage now, aren't you? You would be what?
free.
This is a part of the aspect that we discussed last night about him showing honor unto the weaker vessel, because showing honor unto that weaker vessel, or he that is useful to his husband, he gets the esteem of being set free. That freedom comes from the Ruach HaKodesh, if you understand what I'm talking about. You did. So, verse 4, Isaiah 14. Now, again, we talked about it. So you have threefold conversation when it comes to Isaiah 14. Some will tell you it's the king of Babylon. Some will tell you it's the devil. And we don't hold to either one of those. You know why? Because search the scriptures. For in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. And the testimony of Yahushua is the Ruach of prophecy. So we staunchly, steadfastly, and adamantly hold fast to those three witnesses that the entire book is bearing witness to the Son of God. Why on Elohim's green earth would he be bearing witness to the adversary and to a slanderer? You know what I'm saying? And that's just something you have to sit back and ask yourself. If the Almighty Father, the creator of all things, is bearing witness of anything, why would he bear witness to an enemy and a slanderer and a rebel and a murderer and a liar? Because the Lord said that this man is a liar and the truth ain't in him. So if the truth ain't in him, Sivy, guess what that means? He ain't faithful. And he said a man a murderer. He said a murderer ain't got no eternal life existing in him. So why would he bear witness to him? Of course, you know, we live in a society that gives Satan entirely too much credit for things because you've made... I never really heard this saying until I got on Clubhouse, but it makes sense. It's called main character syndrome. You ever heard of that before? You heard that before? Where you heard that at?
Amen. Sit up.
Yeah, I never heard it till on here. You know what that is? Nah, you be doing it, nigga. That's main character syndrome is somebody who has to make any and everything about them. They have to be the lead actor or actress everywhere they go. That means, like, say, would it mainly be, say, like if you're on Clubhouse and people in a room talking, this person has to make sure that they are the center of attention. You think, yeah, that's me. Only on Wednesdays. Shalom, Kendall. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but Satan is not a main character. He's not even a supporting character. He's actually a bit player. You know what I'm saying? You know why Satan's role expands? Because you lend too much attention to him, or you give him opportunity to seize and enter into what you got going on. Satan is a tempter, he is a liar, and he is an enemy. When I say enemy, meaning literally what Satan means is adversary. That's all he is. He ain't got no power. He ain't got no doctrine. He ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he can tempt you with is the stuff that you already lust after. That's why if your desire is to your husband, meaning you have a longing and craving for your husband, then there's absolutely nothing that Satan could tempt you with that you would even remotely come close to falling for. You know what I'm saying? But if you have, remember he say, man, let your treasure be in heaven. If your treasure is on high, then what could he tempt you? I ain't saying that he can't tempt you. I'm saying when he tempts you, you wouldn't go for it. Because what he's offering you, you don't desire anyway. See, when he tempted the Lord didn't care what you offering, nigga. I don't want that. Shalom, Brother Ernest. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I want that for? What I'm going to do with that? But when that man ain't your desire, oh yeah, that man can offer you something, you'll go for it. Want a little bit of yams? He'll offer it to you. Want a little bit of drugs? He'll offer it to you. Want some fame? Want some power? Want some money? Whatever it is. Oh, you don't really believe Yahuwah says he is who he is? How about you do that and try him and see if he is? That's what type of dude that is. And you think he got passages talking about him? Nigga come up with all stuff. Satan was beautiful in heaven. Where you got that from? Because the book don't say that. Now people tell you, he was the most beautiful angel out of them all. He was the minister of music. And that ain't in there nowhere. Satan's not even a name. That's the crazy part. Satan is not even a name, it's a title. You have Satan, which means adversary, and anybody can be Satan. Let's let that be known. If you going against somebody, in Hebrew, they would say you are a Satan. When he said, get behind me, Satan, talking to Peter, he was being adversarial. Then you have Hashatan, the adversary. Just like you have Mashiach, and then you have Hamashiach, the anointed one. This is what you're saying. This one here specifically is that. But like in the text, Mother Rona says she's heard that all her life. Most of us have, especially if you live in the South. He's the minister of music. Say Christianity teach those things. I held to them. Yeah, and look here, I wasn't never into Christianity, so as a youth, so that stuff meant nothing to me. Down south, people tell you, oh, if his sun's out and it's raining, that means the devil beating his wife. And Satan ain't got no wife. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't got no wife. Oh yeah, I heard that plenty of times in my childhood. Yeah, be like, if you go outside and it's raining and the sun out, yeah, they be like, yeah, the devil beating his wife. I'd be like, how does that work? She crying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But when you examine the text, like truthfully though, Satan is not discussed at least in the Old Testament, rarely at all. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if you have understanding the dark sentences, you can see what things may be referencing some work he gonna do through somebody. But like explicitly, everybody say Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28 talking about him, but when you examine them, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You got the instance where he tipped David to number the people. You got Job, and that's about it. He said, I definitely heard Satan was the minister of music. He's the one that perverted the music genre. Shalom, Eastman. You want to know who perverted the music genre? Wait for it. Man did. Satan didn't need to come in and do nothing. You know why? Because man was perverted from the time he realized what he was doing. You didn't need Satan for that. Yeah, Satan ain't do none of that. It's just, this is what happens. The people who run the music business happen to worship certain idol gods, and they particularly participate in certain rituals as it pertains to those gods whom they worship. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll tell you, yeah, we put the master recording on a pentagram and pray for as many unclean spirits to come into that recording as possible. But Satan ain't got nothing to do with that. Because guess what? Somebody making a song talking about pop that coochie. That wasn't Satan, that was them. That's what he wanted to write. You know why? Because he wanted some women. Of course, you know who I'm referring to. Because this music from our state. You think Satan had something to do with Luke when he wrote that? He's in Miami. That's what they do there. When they were talking about Doo-Doo Brown, we all from down here. We know what goes on here in the summertime. Oh, that's because you probably never heard the real version. Yeah, he telling you to scrub the ground. You know what I'm talking about? Well, this nigga came in here with a military bag. That boy ready to go to war.
What's the Trump called him,
Man, he finna get deported.
It's in the ice.
We send the ice. And they ain't cold either. Glory.
Yeah.
You ain't from Chicago. What you got to have? They would have had in Chicago. You say it was a blessing you would never endure. Praise you who indeed. What's happening, Jonathan, man? I had, yeah, none of those teachings really meant nothing to me since I wasn't ever in the church. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's nowhere in there that says Satan did any of those things. You know what I'm saying? So what we finna look at? We could read the verse where it, because we talked about it before. The verse when it say pipes in Ezekiel 28, that's a jeweler's bezel. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that not too long ago. But that's a jeweler's bezel that it's referring to. It's not talking about singing. You say it was tough to let go, but it made more sense. No, I understand. And I can understand why things be difficult if you come from, this is what you always been told. Like Mother Sharona said, I ain't never been in no church. I wasn't inundated, indoctrinated and inundated with all that information. Like I heard it, but it meant nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Lucifer, Satan is this and Satan is that. It didn't mean anything to me. I didn't care. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I didn't care. Okay, what that mean to me? You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go roll this blunt. What you finna do? You know what I'm saying? Them Christian people go to come and I'm avoiding them because they want to take up all your time. It ain't even the fact of what they talking about. It's the fact of they can't tell that I got things to do. And sitting here for 30 minutes talking to you ain't one of them. Because they ain't coming with no information. Do you know that Jesus loves you? Like, nigga, what? You stopped me for this? Hand me the little packet. I don't want this, nigga.
One more.
No, it's no disrespect. Y'all know what I'm talking about. How many of y'all had to go outside? I know Stanley with Jehovah's Witness. They made you have to go outside? No, I understand. Look here, man. Ain't nothing wrong if you grew up in church, man. Because I know people get upset. They be mad with the church. Man, all that stuff was to craft you into who you are at this present time. You know what I'm saying? Those who experiences that was needed for your life to get you to a particular point. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody pathway different. You was in church. I was in a crack house. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Which one would you rather have chosen? Because if looking back on it, I might have rather had chose the church. You ain't had to worry about nobody kicking your door in and shooting at you in the church. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being honest. Like, ain't nothing cool about that. You got some people crazy enough to say they'd rather choose the crack house than the church house. Said 19-year-old boy talking about your elder. Yeah, it definitely. Hey, man, I remember the Mormons used to come knock on our door. You know what I'm talking about? They used to be looking at the peephole. I would be crashing it too. They would let it walk away. They'd leave. Hey, you came knocking on my door. I wasn't disrespectful with them or nothing, but you knocking on my door. I ain't asked for this. Minding my business. I'm talking about. Been here trying to watch, at that time, I forgot what she had, a Nintendo. So I think I was playing 2K. One of them Nintendo, I'm trying to play basketball, man. You bothering me. Say one of my bosses, Jehovah's Witness. They go knocking door to door, spreading that stuff. I ain't mad at them. That's the move me to go to Baptist from non-dominant. Hey, man, I don't know about none of that. Like when y'all be mentioning church stuff, I gotta be telling y'all be think I be playing. I don't know none of that. I don't know no gospel songs. I don't know none. My mom ain't playing. There ain't no Saturday morning gospel music being played. My mom ain't do that type of stuff. Hell no. Saturday morning, you get the hell out my door. Go find your friends and find something to do. And guess what? I'm gone. What? Shoot, we gone. Especially in the summertime, 9, 10 o'clock, we out of here. Ain't coming back till sundown. Yeah, we gone. You know what I'm saying? We outside every day, all day, at each other's house, in a different neighborhood. Bicycle, feet, don't make no difference. We gone. City bus, all that. All that, man. You know what I'm saying? No, it wasn't never, mama cutting that gospel music. You know what that meant? That ain't, man, we ain't never do that. Ever. Never. Not one time. Never. Go ahead.
It says, you shall take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say,
Isaiah 14:4.
And say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased? Yahuwah have broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with the continual.
That's good. I just wanted you to see he talking about the king of Babylon. Now look at verse 9.
Hell from beneath is moved for you to meet at your coming. They stir up the dead for you.
They stir up the who?
The dead for you, all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings
I know
of the
we
nations.
don't have to, but the young man, he gone now. Hell from beneath. Go ahead and tell him what that means. Mordecai. You tired, son?
Hell is Sheol.
The grave.
And then beneath is Takath, the under part beneath.
So the grave beneath the earth is going to be moved for you. Now, you mean to tell me graves getting moved for Satan? You mean to tell me graves getting moved for the king of Babylon? Because that's what it say. Well, let's read John 5:25. Let's see what the Lord say. You say you don't want to talk to no Jehovah's Witnesses, bro. I promise you don't. Then you came and knocked on the door when we stayed in Sundance. They used to leave me alone. They stopped coming over there. You were never over there when they came to the door, wasn't you? Yeah, you ain't missed nothing. They leave. They'll never come back. I think they put marks on certain people's doors when they know don't go over there no more. Because, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses ain't no different than most Israelites. They bank on talking to somebody who they figure don't know the word. So when they run across somebody who do know the word, they don't really want to have that conversation because they weren't really coming to have a conversation for spreading the word. They were having a conversation to indoctrinate you into their stance. And that's it. Me personally, you ain't got to agree with nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to agree with you, but I can hear you out, though. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how you arrive to this conclusion. But most people don't want to do that. So there's that. Indeed, Joseph, and into their church in general. At the end of the day, that's what most people out here doing. They recruiting. But they're not recruiting for the Lord. They're recruiting for themselves. Keep it all the way live with you. Go ahead.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Elohim.
They're going to hear who?
The voice of the Son of Elohim.
And?
They that hear shall live.
And?
For as the Abba have life in himself,
and
so it be given to the Son to have life in himself.
What else?
And have given him authority to execute judgment, also because he is the Son of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice.
Oh, that's in the who?
The grave.
Gonna do what?
Shall hear his voice.
And what's gonna happen after that?
It shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation.
Does that sound like hell from beneath is moved for you? That sound like that to you? The Lord said the graves would be moved for him. He said that you'd be imagine they get a nice commission. Say you was Baptist, non-denominational, 7-day Hebrew Israelite. Jewish. Now you say I'm just born again. That's it. Or you could just say I'm a Yahudi. Dude got mad the other day because he said, "What are you?" I said, "I'm a Yahudi." What I say, bro? You arguing about that? You don't know your own book? Tell them what Romans 2:28 is, Sibby. Just in case somebody don't know what that means. If you say you a Yahudi, I'll give you source scriptures to go along with it.
Say, for he is not a Yahudim, which is one outwardly.
Not one outwardly.
Neither circumcision, which is outward in the flesh.
Ain't nobody who clipped your wee-wee.
But he is a Yahudim, which is one inwardly.
Inwardly.
The circumcision of the heart.
And
the Ruach, not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of Elohim.
And that's Jeremiah 4:4. Circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah. Colossians 2:8, that you had the circumcision without hands to put off the body of sin. Deuteronomy 10:12, circumcise your hearts unto Yahuwah. That's what you're saying when you saying you a Yahudim. I put off the body of sin by the circumcision without hands. Instead of removing the foreskin on a penis, I removed the foreskin off my heart or took the veil off my heart. Simple. People don't like that because most people want to put you in a box. So they want a name or organization so they can classify you with that. That way they know what your doctrine is. That's all anybody trying to figure out is what your doctrine is. And that's how they're going to decide how they're going to interact with you. You know what I'm saying? My doctrine is Yahuwah. Take that and do what you want to with it. Come on back, man. And that's why us believing in the Son of God the way that we do, that he's in the volume of the book is very difficult for a lot of people to grasp because unfortunately it's not commonplace. And they think that you making stuff up or you stretching stuff to fit a narrative because they think that everybody think like them. Like, I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. You know how many people we done talked to about Lucifer not being the devil? Y'all done heard some of them people kick and scream about that. Did you hear me fight with them people like, nah, nigga, I don't care. I'm already persuaded, not because I want to believe it, because the text has shown me clearly that this is what it is. This is not a personal preference. I don't have a personal preference. And maybe that comes from not being in the church, of not having a personal preference. I don't have a personal preference. It say what it say. If it says something else, I'd say that. If it don't say that, then I'm not going to say that. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody fussing, fighting about everything. They fussing. I seen a dude had to post, his organization does not endorse or promote polygyny. All these people in the comments saying, are you saying it's unlawful? Why even make that post? I ain't making no post saying we don't support polygyny. You'll know that if you come and ask me. You know what I'm talking about? Now, granted, they have a much larger organization than we have. So that might have been necessary for him to do so. So let me add that in there. You know what I'm saying? Because them boys is international. It's an Israelite congregation. They is international. So he might have felt like that was the best way for him to do that. I'm just speaking for me personally. I'm not doing that. If you want to think we endorse polygyny, then think it. Come around here and holler at me in real life and you know. That's what's wrong with a lot of niggas. You ain't hollering at nobody on real life. You only going off the end. You don't know what these, man, you got to go be around people for real, man. And then you'll know. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll know. It's really that simple. Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 10, you want me to read verse 9 again?
You can read 10 because we read 10 last night.
And they shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as we? Are you become like unto us?
Now, we read that last night. Are you become weak as we? Let's take it a step further. Let's look at John chapter 6, verse 37. Do I want 37? Tell me what 35 says, Sylvia. Donna, Joanne. Don't step on little Bible stuff.
And Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that come to me shall never hunger. He that believe on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that you also have seen me and believe not. All that the Abba hath give me shall come to me, and him that come to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from Shamayim not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me.
Not to what?
Not to do my own will,
but the will of him
that sent me.
Go ahead.
And this is the Abba's will which have sent me, that of all which he have given me, I should lose nothing.
Not nothing.
But should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me.
What's that?
That everyone which see the Son and believe on him may have everlasting life.
They may have what?
Everlasting life.
What else?
And I will raise him up at the last day.
And what else? You see how hell beneath getting moved for him, right? He telling you that. Continue.
Yahudim then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from Shamayim.
Your fathers.
And they said, is not this Joseph, Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know?
Pause. Who remember where this come from in the Old Testament? He says, this not who?
Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know.
Who had the same thing said about them? You don't sound confident. How much money are you willing to put on that?
I'm about to say Samuel.
How much money are you willing? You don't sound confident. Is that your final answer? How much money are you willing to wager?
$250,000.
You both don't have $250,000. So let's do a reasonable number here. Sir.
The book say let the yay be yay.
Your yay wasn't strong enough. What would you like to wait? I mean, it could be as low as $1. As low as $1. $1. 4 quarters. 20 nickels. 10 dimes. $1.
Can you say?
Get out. There you go, Omar. Come on to 1 Samuel 10. You can pick it up at verse 1. Somebody get this man out of here. Stank. Why you keep moving around, Stank? But you was just over there, and then over there, and then over here. Abigail, how did you get over here? What's going on here? Are your knees, actually? 1 Samuel 10 and 1.
Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured upon his head and kissed him and said, "Is it not because Yahuwah have anointed you captain over his inheritance? When you are departed from me today, then you shall find 2 men by Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zelzah, and they will say unto you, the asses which you went to seek are found. And lo, your father have left the care of the asses in sorrow for you, saying, what shall I do for my son?"
Mm-hmm. Hold on. We can't just skip over that. I can't. Hold on. Now listen to what he just said. He said he poured this on his head. And listen to what he said, right? You went to seek and they were found, and your father have left the care of the asses and sorrow for you. Say, what shall I do for my son? Now think about that. Now look what he about to do for his son. Continue.
Then shall you go on forward from thence, and you shall come into the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet you 3 men going up to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine.
Skipped something over that one.
3 men going up to Elohim to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. And they will salute you.
They were carrying what? 3 loaves of bread and a bottle of wine.
3 kids.
And 3 goats. They were carrying 3 goats. Or they were carrying 3 kids. Which one is it? Go ahead.
They will salute you and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall receive of their hand.
After that, you shall
come to the hill of Elohim, where's the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when you are come there to the city, that you shall meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place with a psaltery and a tabret and a pipe and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. And the Ruach of Yahuwah will come upon you. You shall prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man.
He said the Ruach will come on you, and you'll be turned into a what?
Another man.
Man, you can't say you got the Spirit of God and you the same nigga you wore before you got it. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said you'll be turned into another man. Tell him what turned into is.
That's a fox, to turn, to overthrow, to overturn.
To overthrow. So that means everything about you before you got it gets tossed out.
Or to transform oneself.
To transform oneself. You want to see what that means? Ephesians 4 and 17. Holding 1 Samuel. Indeed, Quran, being born again. Holding 1 Samuel 10. Holding Isaiah 14. On to Ephesians 4 and 17. Glass is pretty, son.
Say, this I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
Stop walking around in the nothingness of your brain.
Having the understanding darkened
and alienated
from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart.
Come on.
Who being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness.
So in past time you gave yourself over to all your lusts.
To work all uncleanness with greediness.
All that selfishness, you work that uncleanness.
You have not so learned Hamashiach.
The Lord ain't taught you that.
If so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him.
If you've been heard of him and taught by him, why you behaving in such a way?
Yes, the truth is in Yahusha.
What else?
That you put off concerning the former conversation.
That you do what?
Put off the former conversation.
Put off the what?
The former conversation.
Put off the former conduct.
The old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
That's what he's telling you in 1 Samuel 10.
And be renewed in the Ruach of your mind.
When you receive that Ruach HaKadosh, you get turned into another man.
And that you put on the new man, which after Elohim
that
is
you
created,
put on the who?
The new man.
This is what being a Jew is. That's circumcised in the heart. You put off the body of sins with the circumcision without hands. Go ahead.
Which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true Kadash.
Now, what does this deal mean with, oh, you become weak like one of us? What does that have to do with that? Because we talked about it last night. It behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. He didn't take on the nature of Malachim, but he took on the seed of Abraham, that he might be a faithful and merciful high priest as it pertains to reconciliation, that he might have power over him that had power over death, that is the devil, to free everybody who was subject to bondage of death through fear. So he became weak like us. You know why? God can't die. You know how we know that? Because Deuteronomy 32 say, I lift up my hands to heaven and swear I live forever. And this man made himself lesser. See, people look at that's not a demigod. See, niggas so stupid. A demigod is a god having sex with a human being and they produce a child. Do y'all know some historical examples of a demigod? Do y'all remember what a demigod is?
That's Hercules.
Hercules is a demigod. Oh, I don't know about that movie. I've never seen it. That may be accurate. I'm not familiar with the film. I'll give y'all a strict definition. A demigod.
I think Thor is an actual god.
Yeah, Thor is an actual god. That is correct, Quran. He became our kin to become our kinsman redeemer to fulfill Hosea. And since Quran said it, no, Thor is an actual god.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, bump the
He's still a
carrot.
god.
He's an actual god. That's a god of the Norwegian pantheon.
Oh, you want to stop.
I don't know. I just know Thor, and I know Thor is an actual deity. You know what I'm talking about? Get me. What are they? Hosea 13 and 10. Is it 13 and 8? 13 and 9? Well, I don't know. You'll figure it out. And that's the part that get overlooked, what Quran says, something that we've talked about many times over the years. He literally became your kin to literally be your kinsman redeemer, to literally fulfill what is written in Leviticus 25 and Hosea 13 and what we read a few weeks back in the book of Ruth. Because the only person who could free you from your debt during the time of Jubilee, which is on what day, Civic? On atonement, or the day of purging or reconciliation, is a kinsman redeemer. That's the only person who can do it. So when you know the law, you would know he's not a demigod. He became a man. What he said, well, how the Holy Ghost, he had, no, man, the seed is the word. All this, man, you mean to tell me you believe a man created the heavens and the earth and the waters and the mountains by a word, but he can't speak a word to inseminate a woman's womb? You a special type of stupid. You know what I'm talking about? You won't limit him in anything else, but you're going to limit him in that. You know why you're going to limit him in that? Because you wouldn't understand why this man could not be birthed through an unclean vessel. Not because of the fact that the woman is a whore, but if you ejaculate, that's unclean. He needs a womb that has never been sullied. This man literally told these men, don't touch your wife for 3 days before you come holler at me. And you think you're going to put the Son of God in a womb where somebody we done been at? Come on, man. Use your mind. Let me not say use your mind. Use your inward man. You know what I'm talking about? Actually look at the deep things of God. That don't make sense. Especially when you consider Adam came and was made from what, Civic? Virgin soil. He said no man had ever tilled that ground. Ain't that what it said? No man ever worked it. No man ever put a seed in it. No man had ever done anything to it. And that the testimony of the Son of God is fulfilled yet again. But see, this is the thing. Everybody don't believe that the whole book is about Yahushua HaMashiach. And I know I've told y'all that before, and y'all don't interact with a lot of people. So when you see people talk like that, y'all to be genuinely amazed. But that is the prevailing view, that the whole book is not about him, and the majority of people who say they believe in the Son of God. So when you say certain things, they're going to be like, nah. See, you stretching that. That's why I've told you for years, don't take it for granted, because you think this is, everybody hears this. No, everybody does it. Not because we so great or so exceptional, but the man told you, Righteous men have desired to hear the things that you have heard and have not heard them, and to see the things that you have seen and have not seen them. And a case in point, they seen the Lord in the flesh, heard the 12 men he sent to preach his testimony after his resurrection and the sending of the Spirit, and the mass majority of the people in the land rejected it. They rejected it. Because just like he said, you come into the synagogue on Shabbat and you hear Moses preach and the veil is over your heart as it is this day. Say, because like you say, the whole book points to him, the whole law does, the whole alphabet does, the name of the tribes does, the order of the birth tells it. Yeah, the whole thing's about, and you know why that's the case? Because very few of us have actually been around wealthy, well-to-do people who like had it in his mind that everything that I do is for my firstborn son. Everything that I create is for my firstborn son. All my labor is for my firstborn son. And I'm grooming and setting him up to give him everything that I have. And you know what I said at the forefront of my mind right now? Because the lady who owned the Chicago Bears just died, right? I know y'all don't know who that white woman is, so that's okay. But the man who founded the team, George Halas, that's a family. See, a lot of sports franchises aren't owned necessarily by billionaires. Some of them are family-owned things. Now, some of those families, as time went on, they sold them to wealthier people. You know what I'm saying? But like verse 2 come to my mind. The Bears and the Steelers are family-owned. They're owned by the Hallases and they're owned by the Rooneys. Like when the team was founded, people owned them. They never sold them. You know what I'm saying? So George Halas was grooming his eldest son to take over the team. But his son died from a heart attack. So his daughter took it over. You know what I'm saying? But everything that George Halas was doing was to leave it to his son. Now there's a difference. You take the Los Angeles Lakers. That's a family-owned business. Like the buses, they're not rich like that. Like they money come from the Lakers. You know what I'm talking about? Like all Dr. Buss's kids run that franchise. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I'm trying to think of it. It's not that many anymore. Yeah, Detroit, the Ford family own that. Yeah, and that's the Hunt family. They own that. You know what I'm saying? Like people might have money, but they not like the Waltons who own the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? Or Woody Johnson who owns the Jets. You know, that's the dude who owns Johnson & Johnson. Like they ain't got money like that. Like this is how they get their money. So they pass this down to their offspring. They prepare their sons to take this over. Like everything that they did, this is for my, and not just all their sons, it's always the eldest son. The only way they don't give it to the eldest son is when they see that he's an idiot. And they have no other choice but to, well, we're going to have to give it to Charles because, yeah, Bob's just a dummy. You know what I'm saying? People don't, see, the one thing about human beings is human beings are not very different from what they've done throughout the course of time. And when you're dealing with men, men have the idea that my oldest son, I'm going to give him everything. And that's what the Father has done with the Son of God. I'm giving him everything. You know why? Genesis 49:1. They kind of go back to the main character syndrome. Yes, it does. Absolutely. That is an astute observation, good sir. Because most people look at the Bible and you think it's Israelite, Israelite, Israelite. The Bible is not about you. It never was about you. You wanted to make it be about you to justify your underlying narcissism. Because it seems like a lot of people who are in the word definitely have exemplify a multitude of narcissistic tendencies. Now, somebody asked me this last night. Do I think victimhood is a part of narcissism? It definitely is a tendency in it. Narcissists love to play the victim. You know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation because you'd have to pull out psychological things, and I don't care to do all that. Go ahead.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear you sons of Jacob. Hearken unto Yasharal your father. Reuben, you my firstborn, my might, beginning of my strength.
You my what? My might, my beginning of my who?
My strength.
What else?
The excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as waters.
That's good. This is how to work. This is how your law speak of a firstborn son. Inheritance always go to him. We was having a conversation the other day. Sister was like, Patrick Mahomes ain't black because he came out of a white vagina. I said, boy, you wild. Because in her mind, she said, if you come from a white vagina, you're not black. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know, this not even on, because I never held you are what your father are before I was in the word. But I'm like, if your daddy black, nigga, you black. You know what I'm saying? The vagina is the holder. But that's not the seed. It's the incubator. It's the processor, if you will. You know what I'm saying? She keep it in, she stew it, she cook it real good for you. So it come out good. Or it's the earth, if you would. Because at that point, then we would have to say that Adam is the ground. Though he comes from the seed, which is the word. That's absurd. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless. My bad. Where we at with it? There's definitely all about Yahuwah and praise be to him. And that's where we make the mistake at. You focus the thought process on you and your mind never be on Yahuwah. Yeah, I would say if your pops is white, then I would just say, hey, you white. No, technically you mix, but you gonna look at him and be like, hey, if you came from a black vaginas that make you black, quote unquote. And of course, you know, black is a legal designation, but y'all understand because I don't be one. I remember talking to dudes who was on that UCC stuff, black as a crayon. Man, shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? You know what we talking about, bro. Nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Reason why yeah, you know, that used to be the line when dudes be like, so what's your nationality? I'm black. Black as a crayon. Man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? We know ain't nobody in here black. Everybody in here brown. You know what I'm talking about? Now, them African niggas might be black. You know what I'm saying? Blurple. That's what them niggas is. Little black, little purple. Blue. I ain't gonna lie, some of them African, not all of them, but some of them, them niggas look like you like when your face be bruised. That's how they skin look. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even funny. Like the bruise in the flesh. That's how dark they is. Like they look like when you have a black eye. They ain't even being funny because I mean, you look at Ethiopians, you know, they skin tone like ours. Most of them people skin tone over there like ours. It's their facial features that let you know that, oh, them not the same people as you. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to look at. They definitely have different facial features. They cheekbones, their eyes, their noses, their chins, they're not the same as ours. And you can tell there's a difference. Like if you're not really paying attention, you can see it, you wouldn't notice it. But when you really, really looking, you be like, yeah, they don't look like us. Me can say what Nipsey Hussle was, Eritrean, how you said, and Ethiopians that seem to have looser hair texture and lighter skin. Like you can look at Nipsey after you find him, like, yeah, he don't look like us. His brother damn sure does. Black Sam definitely don't look nothing like that.
He look like A-Rod.
He looked just like he looked like, yeah, that he ain't one of us. He different. There's no disrespect. It just is what it is. Like you don't look like. It's the same way if they put up photographs of Native Americans, you can tell the ones like, yeah, them us, them not. Yeah. A lot of the photographs he do look like. A lot of the photographs that they put up of Native Americans, they look like East Indians. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about East Indians, like the people from India. Then you got some of them. They put up photographs of certain Native Americans, and you know, like, yeah, that's us right now. You know what I'm saying?
So the Indians looking weird. They have dark skin like Africans. They have white, like white people.
That's why I say all of them ain't us. You can look at the ones and tell the ones that them your people. I'm really talking about the ones they put up in mainstream photographs. You know what I'm saying? Like case in point, the Redskins logo. You can look at Buddy and tell like we not them. You know what I'm saying? But then you see other photographs and you be like, that look like my grandma. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. He said that Boaz and Ruth have a mixed baby. I mean, most Israelites, period, had mixed babies. Number one, you'd have to look at it this way, right? Jacob didn't have mixed babies because Rachel and Leah were his cousins. They were both Syrian, so they were of the same family familial lineage. You know what I'm talking about? Now, when you deal with the handmaids, that's done different, but it wasn't nothing like that at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like Abraham was from Ur Chaldees, so he's from Ur Chaldees, and so was Sarah. And then Rebecca was of Abraham people. She was Syrian. You know what I'm saying? All these people, they were related. You know what I'm talking about? So there's that. When you get into who each individual son married, like I said, Joseph had children with an Egyptian woman. He was in Egypt. Ephraim and Manasseh came from Egyptian mothers. Moses had an Ethiopian woman who he had children with. Now, they were talking about this the other day. Now, when you look in the law and dudes try to press this, they didn't marry from tribe to tribe. So if you were from Asher, then you would marry a woman who was from Asher. They did that so inheritances wouldn't get passed from tribe to tribe when somebody died. You know what I'm saying? So if you was from Asher, they didn't want something to get passed to Reuben. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Is it a sin if you married a woman from another tribe? No. And anybody tell you that, it's a jackass. Because you can't read that nowhere. You're making that up. But it's Israelites who will tell you that you can only marry a woman from Judah. If you marry an Ephraimite, you sinning. It don't say that nowhere. It don't say that nowhere. Because guess what? You ain't got no inheritance in the United States of America. So what inheritance is going from tribe to tribe now? What, you going to pass a Hyundai from one tribe to another? You like a Hyundai? You don't like a Hyundai. Oh, I didn't know you like Korean cars. She like Korean technology. Also known as absolutely. Say a lot of them marry women from other tribes. But that's only a subsection of people. You know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, most of these dudes gonna marry the woman who gonna give them some yams on a regular basis. And if they gotta feel like what they need to feel like to justify marrying that woman, that's what they gonna do. Because some dudes like Puerto Rican women. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care what nobody like. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because I ain't got to be with her. I ain't got to lay with her. I ain't got to take care of her. I ain't got to live with her. I ain't got to feed her. I ain't got to clothe her. You like her? She like you? That's your business, man. You know what I'm saying? It's too many people be way too concerned with what people doing with their genitals. I'm not concerned. You know what only concern I got about your genitals? Don't do it ungodly, because you're going to go to hell, and that's it. That's it. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you marry. I don't care who you with. I don't care what you're doing. That's not my business. You think the men was walking around checking about who you gonna marry? And the only thing they said is, hey man, now you know we just came up out of Babylon and y'all gonna marry them strange women again. Y'all be serving other gods. We gonna get put out again. That's the only thing they were concerned with. Kids can't even speak our own language because you fooling with these sinners, man. What's wrong with you? Now you stupid if you go get you a sinner. But that's your business though. So guess what? I ain't got to deal with all that frustration. You do. Go ahead.
So I will ransom them from the power of the grave.
That's it.
I'll redeem them from death.
I'll redeem them from who?
From death.
From who?
From death.
I'll ransom them from the power of
from the grave.
And redeem them from
death.
And what else?
Oh, death, I will be your plagues. Oh, grave, I will be your destruction.
That's right.
Repentance shall be hid from my eyes.
And that ransom is Gaal, kinsman redeemer. But yeah, it's not I know a lot of Israelites put on you are what your father is. You know what I'm saying? But man, that John really just boiled down to the aspect of, I mean, technically you are what your father is. In every society on earth, Bible or not, that doesn't denote or diminish your mama. But you're not what your mama is because you don't come from your mother's seed. That's the only reason why you are with your father is because it's the seed. You know what I'm talking about? Where there's no seed, there is no life. Same way where there is no seed, aka the word of Elohim, there is no life. The womb in of itself is of none effect without the seed, but the seed can't produce life without the womb. See how that works? Now, see, the word of Elohim is alive, but it doesn't produce the fruit of the Ruach till it hit where? Inside your heart. But guess what? Your heart ain't got no life in it until you receive the what?
Ruach.
Till you receive the seed. You know what I'm talking about? It's no different with a woman's womb. Is there? Can she carry life? Yes. But there's no life in her womb until you put your seed in it. You know what I'm talking about? Now you got life in your scrotum, but that life is ineffectual until it releases. You know what I'm talking about? And then you would need to release it in the proper womb in the first place. And that's what people don't do. You put your life in the wrong womb and wonder why you birthed death, meaning you birthed a hellion. You know what I'm talking about? Real talk. I ain't being put your seed in the wrong woman, boy. Now you done produce death. He out here killing people. He out here hurting people because you put it in the wrong earth. You fertilize the wrong soil. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody who do farming know, boy, you know you got to drop them seeds in the right soil. Put them seeds in the wrong soil, see what happens. The fruit might die before it get off the tree. It might be poison, and you give it to somebody and make them sick, all because you put it in the wrong soil. Ain't no different than when you laying down having children, man. You put your seed in the wrong soil. Poison everybody. Now everybody got to deal with your nigga son. Now I ain't talking about nigga because he brown. I'm talking about nigga because he nigga. He do nigga stuff. He got nigga ways. Nigga thoughts. And nigga behavior. You know what I'm saying? Go up to kids in school, kick them in the shin. Them kids ain't did nothing to you. Taking people's stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Come home, disobedient. And you like, that's your baby. Cause see the bad soil you put your seed in, she comforted him. That's just my baby. This nigga evil. Now it could be the same token if it's good soil and you put bad seed in it. It can contaminate the whole ground. You know what I'm saying? That was good seed. Now you done brought that bad behind seed over here. Now she crazy in the mind. She don't know why. You been laying up with this nigga. Now look at your kids. They poison. They got poison fruit because of this rotten seed. This nigga, you knew wonder why this nigga gay. Look at his daddy. I ain't talking about gay as in homosexual. I'm talking about gay as in lame, a sucker, a buster, a lame, a goofy, a weirdo. I told you last night, whole niggaism get passed down through the genes. Play with it if you want to. Yeah. Man, you could definitely pass down buster conduct through genes. It's in his daddy. It's in his daddy. She gonna develop it, the one she gonna be around him too long. If she don't get away, man, you ever seen a woman who really? I'm talking about all jokes aside. You ever seen a woman she with a dude who a certified buster? See, it's only two things that can happen. If you a real nigga, you gonna separate or you gonna become a buster. You can't be hanging around suckers and remain sucker free. When God told you evil communications corrupt good manners, so you think you're not gonna become a buster and you living in the house with one, having children with one? Everybody gonna become a buster. There's no way around it. So you know what you gotta do? Gotta stay sucker free. Hey, better keep that fertile soil. You can't bring that rotten seed over here. That bad seed. You ever seen some bad seeds? They black. Ain't that what the book say? They look like good seeds. Them seeds ain't good. Them seeds ain't good. And see, when we talking about buster, we ain't talking about what the world, street stuff. We talking about a man of integrity, a man of honor, values, things of that nature. A man who's honest and has integrity. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't talking about no street stuff like, oh, he's a kid, this, that, and the third. No, if this man is a dishonorable man, if he is a man of low character, then the people around him will become like that. And of course, his offspring gonna be like that because he gonna pass it down. Do y'all not realize that most of y'all have innate characteristics that your parents have that they did not teach you? You know what I'm saying? It's in your genes. It ain't had nothing to do with what they taught you. It's natural. And then it always got to be certain stuff, you know what I'm talking about? Just is what it is. Some of y'all parents is very outgoing. Guess what you is? Talk to everybody. Like you. Because Karen talk to everybody, so I do too. Say, hey, they don't even know you. That lady just want to get her chocolate in the grocery store line. You want to have a conversation. No, they don't. Come on, man. She said she don't like the white people who talk to her at the grocery store. They ain't allowed to take them. Go ahead.
You go with that Jose 13?
Yeah, we good. Oh yeah.
So we're going back to Isaiah 14.
No, you had 1 Samuel 10. Where you was at before Jose? What you fed that boy this month?
The Genesis, Ephesians, and then 1 Samuel.
Now come on back to 1 Samuel 10.
Verse 7.
Come on. Oh no, that's good. Give him 9.
And it was that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, Elohim gave him another heart, and all those signs came to pass that day.
Go ahead.
And when they came there to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him.
Oh, we was in Ephesians 4, but I think we read it all. But we'll come back to it. Go ahead.
And the Ruach of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied among them. And it came to pass when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets. Then the people said one to another,
Is this?
that is come unto the son of Kish, is Saul also among the prophets?
Is this Mary? Is this Joseph's son, the carpenter whom we know? Go ahead.
One of the same place answered and said, but who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, is Saul also among the prophets?
That's where they came from. I forgot where we was in Matthew. But go back to Ephesians 4, man. Give me 21. And again, you can see this here. Saul got honor unto the weaker vessel in the beginning because he gave him the Ruach. And he turned into another man. He put off the body of sin. Go ahead. Well, that's what it represents. Let me say that.
If so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua, that you put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
Come on.
Be renewed in the ruach of your mind.
That's it.
And that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness. And
He said, I've taken off my coat. How shall I put it back on? Go ahead.
Wherefore put away lying.
Put away what?
Lying.
And what else?
Speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Stop lying all the time.
For we are members one of another.
If you're lying to another member in the body as effectively as you're lying to yourself. Go ahead.
Be you angry and sin not.
Be you angry and what?
Sin not.
Let not.
The sun go down upon your wrath.
We didn't talk about that before.
Neither give place to the devil.
A lot of people give place to the slanderer. Go ahead.
Let him that stole steal no more.
Stop stealing, nigga.
But rather let him labor, work with his hands.
Get a job.
The thing which is good that he may have to give him that need. Mm-hmm. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Tell him what corrupt communication is.
Corrupt as saprals, rotten, putrefied, corrupted by one and no longer fit for use, worn out, of poor quality, bad.
Poor quality communication. Now that could be in a minute. A lot of us will look at that, and some people will say, well, you know, that could be vulgarity or profanity. But that man said communication of poor quality.
Communication is logos, that's speech.
That could be in a multitude of things. I know we were talking about demigod. I can't recall what we was looking at. I'll get that in a second. But come on.
Using John 6.
I would have. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
So let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace
That
unto the
means
hearers.
the communication that you give should be the purpose of building the individual up. If it's not of that, then that communication is of poor quality. Let's go.
And grieve not to the Kadash Ruach of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. Be you kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim, for Hamashiach's sake, have forgiven
That's what
you.
most people's problem is. They ain't kind to each other. They don't forgive each other. That's what people's problem is. Go ahead.
That's none of that.
Okay. Come back. Let me tell you what a demigod is. I forgot what. Being partial or lesser divine status, such as a minor deity, the offspring of a god, and a mortal, or a mortal raised to a divine rank. Now, see, if you look at a mortal raised to a divine rank, that would be a proper definition for you to say, okay, Yahusha is a demigod, but it wouldn't be how you was looking at it. You know why? Because Elohim can refer to man. We were talking about this yesterday. The word Most High, right? When you hear Most High, who you think that's referring to? When you hear the term Most High, who do you think that's referring to? Talk along. Come on, Glory. You used to be in church saying glory, glory, hallelujah. That's my name. I would. That's fine. Anybody else?
Say the Father. Yeah.
Do y'all know what the word is for Most High? Elyon. And you know what some of those definitions is for Elyon? Go to the end of Psalms 83 and tell me what that definition is. Oh, he hot.
That is high, upper, of Davidic king exalted above monarchs.
Oh, that means that's the king from the seed of David that is higher above every other king.
Or you got the highest, the most high,
The highest, the highest. So when you hear Most High, it does not always mean the Father.
Yes,
Don't always mean that.
Just a title.
It is. It's a title. Absolutely. Hold on.
Elevation.
No, elevate to a higher plane. So you heard that? One of the first things, the A definition is a Davidic king exalted above all monarchs. And how is Yahusha described? King of kings, Lord of lords. So in that instance, would he not be the Most High? Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's higher above all the kings that are on the earth. Then you got highest, Most High, the name of Elohim, or rulers, either monarchs, angel, princes, or the title of the supreme Most High. This does not mean that the Father is not the Most High. It means, depending on the context when it's used, it is not necessarily talking about the Father himself. Because remember what the law say, what Pharaoh told, get Psalm 47:1, what Pharaoh told Joseph. He said, you'll be equal to me only in what?
Throne am I greater than you?
Throne and power will I be greater than you. Now, Joseph's not even an Egyptian, and Pharaoh was looking at it, you ain't taking nothing from me. I want to get his to you. Because he said that every knee gonna do what to Joseph, Johnny? That boy swift on his toes with the baby in his hand. My nigga. Go ahead. Slow on, Brother Marcus. Psalm 47.
Say, oh, clap your hands, all you people. Shout on to Elohim with the voice of triumph. For Yahuwah Most High is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth.
Now, see, in this instance here, it say Yahuwah Most High. Like I said, it all depends on the context of when it's used. Some things you have to look at words and you have to look at the context of when it's used, and you'll know exactly who or what it's referring to. You know what I'm talking about? Because there it's making no mistake, it's talking about Yahuwah. You can read Most High in another place, and it's talking about he that sit on the throne of David. And both would be right. People want to make certain things be like how it is in English and be mutually exclusive. But of course, certain Hebrew words have multiple definitions, and the definition for that word could all be contingent on the context of the sentence in which it is written in. Don't necessarily have to mean X, Y, Z. Come on back to John 6, wherever you stopped at.
You asked that question, verse 42.
Mm-hmm.
John 6 and 42.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
that's what he asked the question. What's up? That's your napkin,
John 6 and 42.
And they said, "Is not this Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know?"
That's good. Again, they say, a demigod, part human, part divine, a child of a human and a deity. Yahusha is not one of a human and a deity. We read it earlier. He was born of a woman, but no deity has sex with Mary. It said the power of the Ruach HaKadosh will overshadow her. These dudes really think God climbed on top of a woman and inseminated her. Do you know what level of common freak you have to be? Because we were talking about this the other day, right? If somebody's a god and they can die, that means you're not a god. When we were reading some of these stories about these other gods, do you remember all these wars and gods getting killed? And if Osiris is a god, how can somebody chop you up? What kind of God is that? That I can chop you up and then a woman finds your lone phallus and inseminates herself with it. Dude want to talk all this crap about the Bible this morning, and then you follow gods who like men. I don't know why these Egyptian dudes try to act like the Egyptian gods weren't gay. It's everywhere. But come on back to Isaiah 14. And I say that disrespectfully. So we were talking about how he became weak like one of us because he wanted to be your kinsman redeemer. Not only that, he wanted to be, listen, the first Adam brought forth death through the flesh, so death got to be taken out through the flesh. But individuals don't look at it that way, mainly because the redemption from death is not important to most people who deal with the word. They don't really understand the work that the man came to do. They don't really appreciate that work. John 11 and 25 on general principle.
So Yahushua said unto her, "I am the resurrection and the life."
I'm the what?
The resurrection and the life.
Whosoever.
Believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Shall he what?
Shall he live?
Remember what we were talking about last night? You live to die, but you got to die to live. Most people don't believe what this man just said. Read it again.
Yahushua said unto her, "I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever live and believe in me shall never die."
Believe this. You know what the reality is? Most people don't believe that. So that's why it's not a conversation amongst many people. Because one thing for certain and two things for sure. Unless you hear when the Lord come back, everybody going to the grave, cuz. You going. You know what I'm talking about? That's not a conversation that's up for debate. That's not something anybody can contest. There's no scriptures you can throw up to go against that. That man said there is no discharge in that battle. So that means you have to make sure that the life-giving gift of the Ruach HaKadosh resides in you. So though you be asleep, you be alive. Or as he said, arise you that sleepeth, and the Mashiach will give you life. See, that's your hope and expectation of reward. Many people don't have that hope and expectation of reward. They don't have it. They don't believe that he's going to do that. They're not looking for him to do that. They looking for a whole bunch of other stuff. You know the song that pisses me off the most? These people who don't believe in the Mashiach are talk all this crap about the man, and the very things that you say you believe about Yahushua, they say David gonna do. Nigga, you believe the same thing. You just don't believe that I would rather you say I don't think he's the one he is than to say this because you saying David is dead. So you mean to tell me he gonna resurrect from the dead? Can you say that Yahushua is our elder brother? Yes, ma'am, you can. You can say that he is your father, mother, and brother, if you would. You know what I'm saying?
These are all in all.
He all in all. He your king, your lawgiver, your high priest, your judge, the chief apostle, the chief shepherd. He's a busy man. Got a lot of job titles. Got a lot of work he do. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, read me verse 10 of Isaiah 14. And it's like that, Mother Sharona, for the aspect of him, amen, for him to facilitate different operations for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could be considered Eve simple in fact because he a help me. He's an aid and a help and a relief. You know what I'm talking about? Then at the same time, he Adam because he's man, and he's the first Adam being the son of God. You know what I'm talking about? And then, of course, the chief shepherd part of the Lord of Brood don't want to hear that because they want 17 and a half wives. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
All they shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as we? Are you become like unto us? Your pomp is brought down to the grave. The noise,
what is brought down to the what?
Your pomp is brought down to the
and
grave.
The noise of your vials.
The worm is spread under you, and the worms cover you.
Pause. I got you. Now you look at him. This is what they say, see, he sing. The pomp is brought down to the grave. Again, when you look at pomp, it is gaon. It is majesty, exaltation, or excellence. Now you have to ask yourself this question. When was Satan ever brought to the grave? And again, that's Sheol. When did he go to the grave? Somebody showed me in the word, when did Satan go to the grave? Because Peter says Satan is like a roaring lion going about looking to whom he may devour. But I can definitely read, we read it last night, you brought me down in the miry clay. Jeremiah said he was in the prison where there was no what? And Joseph was in the pit where there was no, and he said, and I'll deliver my prisoners out of the pit where there is no. So when Satan went to the grave, what's Satan going to the grave for? He didn't say he put Satan in the grave. He said he kicked him out of heaven.
They could try to say the bottomless pit. You know, that's what they go.
That ain't the grave. That's a bottomless pit. Well, I'll wait. He say never will be straight to the lake. Yeah, it say Satan going in the lake, and he go in last compared to the beast and the false prophet. They go in alive. So that's akin to Satan and demons torturing people. Book don't even tell you Satan in hell torturing nobody. Satan getting the same condemnation as everybody else. We read it in Matthew 25. What he said. He said, depart from me, you cursed in the everlasting fire with the devil and his angels. It didn't say the devil was the king of hell, tormenting nobody. That man in jail just like you. You know what Satan will be like for most people? You the nigga who told on everybody that got everybody 30 years fair time, and now they done threw him in the cell. Now he went in there with everybody he told on.
They all in population.
You know what I'm talking about? He got to sit around and look around. You ratted on all these niggas, what?
Thought you was free.
Man, what's up, godmother? We finna do something to this nigga, man. Man, Satan ain't nobody, man. Not nobody to be concerned with. You know why Satan's somebody to be concerned with for most people? Because you're not watching out. You're not on guard. You ignorant of his devices. You let your lust and your desires overrun you. Yeah, Satan gonna be a problem for you. Because he gonna come offering you everything that you like, and you gonna go for it. You gonna go for it. At the end of the day, he's a tempter. You can't be tempted if you put your flesh to death. You know why? Because you're gonna get from up out of there, or you're gonna shut it down. You're gonna resist them. You know what I'm saying? If you like women, then guess what he'll put in front of you? All the women you could get till you put that to death. You like money and drugs? That means guess what you do for that money? You'll compromise yourself in any shape, form, or fashion for that money because that's what you desire. And then that's when you get in that dangerous spot, like he said in Isaiah. He said, I'll give you over to your own heart and see what, Proverbs 1, I should say, and see what your end gonna be. Or what he say in Psalms, I give you over to your desires. That's when you get turned reprobate. When you reprobate, he done rejected you. Once you get turned reprobate, it's over. There's no coming back from reprobate. I don't think people know what reprobate means, but you can read in Jeremiah 5:31. It say, reprobate silver shall men call them because Yahuwah has rejected them. Once Yahuwah rejects you, it's over. Yahuwah's not taking back somebody he reject. That's what you niggas do. You know why y'all do that? Because you ain't got no self-respect. So you'll let somebody who do you dirty step all on you, you reject them, and because they cry with some tears, you'll take them back. See, we're not talking about no repentance, man. We ain't talking about no mercy. Once that man is done with you, he done with you. You know how we know this? When he was done with Saul, he was done with Saul. When he was done with Ahab, he was done with Ahab. There wasn't nothing to talk about. And you know why he was done with these men? Because they constantly and consistently bucked him. You know what I'm talking about? You're not finna keep bucking this man and he just be like, you know what? Come buck me again. After the opportunity for repent, you got to remember, before Saul got cut off, he bucked Yahuwah twice before that. This man gave you his spirit, turned you into another man. He told you don't eat the food with the blood in it. You did it anyway. Samuel told you stay here till I get here. And you say, you know what? He taking too long. Let's do this. Then the final straw, kill all the Amalekites. Don't leave nobody alive. Don't take nothing. And guess what you do? Keep the king alive and keep all the sheep for yourself. Talking about I'm going to use this for an offering. Yeah, I'm not fooling with you no more. And what you read in the book, Urim and Thummim wouldn't answer to him. The prey wouldn't come to him in a vision or a dream. He sent an evil spirit to torment him. He was done with it. I say that for us to always be cognizant. We're not talking about no sins you might do out of weakness. You know what I'm talking about? Man, if you know that you are consciously and purposely disobeying this man, and that man reject you, he going to give you over to what it is that you want. Read it for him, see if it's Proverbs 1. They might be thinking I'm making that up. Proverbs 1 and 20. I'm not making that up. That's what it say. And I say that because it's a dangerous game that people play. I'm not saying none of y'all playing that game. I'm just saying, period, it's a dangerous game that people play. Because you playing with your life. You know what I'm saying? It might not seem like it, like I said in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because the sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily. It's privily in the hearts of the sons of men to do evil. And then you get it in your mind that he owe you forgiveness, that he owe you mercy. He don't owe you that. He don't owe you that. And you shouldn't have that thought process. You having that thought process is an actual manifestation of your pride and arrogance, to be 100% honest with you. That's your pride make you think like he owe you that. When you want somebody to extend something to you because of your misconduct, and then you convince yourself that they owe you, you an arrogant bastard. Because then when they don't extend that to you, you want to say they wrong and they evil. And that's why he said, my ways are unequal, your ways are unequal. That's why he told you in Micah, he said, hey man, I got a controversy against the house of Yasharal. Plead against me and tell me where I went wrong against you. Please holler at me and tell me. What did I do to you? See, and again, that's the part of playing the victim when you wrong. Because if somebody step to you and say, what did I do to you then? And you sitting there, blah, 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 man, get your goofy behind out my face. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. You trying to make yourself look good by talking bad about this person because you in the wrong. You in the wrong. You wrong. Let me read that so they know I ain't making that up. It is wicked as all outdoors, bro, but it is what it is. Hold on, sis. This is Micah chapter 6, verse 1, y'all. We ain't read this one in a long time. He said, this is Micah 6 and 1. Hear you now what Yahuwah saith, arise and contend you before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Hear you, O mountains, Yahuwah controversy. Matter of fact, there's a video somewhere on the channel that's named just that. You strong foundation of the earth, for Yahuwah have a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Yasharal. Oh, my people, what have I done unto you? Where have I wearied you? Testify against me. That man say, holla at me, man. Tell me what I did to you. Don't tell me about your feelings. Tell me what I did to you. Because a lot of times when people be talking about stuff, they talking about their feelings. But what did they do to you? How did they sin against you? We don't want to hear about your feelings. You know why we don't want to hear about your feelings? Because your feelings change. You might feel like this today and feel like this tomorrow and feel like something else next week. So we don't deal with feelings. You know why? Because feelings are like water. And you know what water is, Civic? Unstable. That's why Yahuwah say he the what? The rock. Because guess what a rock don't do? It don't move. So when he tell you I'm Yahuwah, I change not. I ain't going to be this way today and this way tomorrow and another way next week. That's why we roll with him, because he the realest, because real ones don't change. You know what I'm saying? People who ain't real, they always switch up on you. I love you today, I hate you next week. I can't fool with that. I don't have the ability to go through that emotional roller coaster. It's too stressing. That type of stuff, when I smoke marijuana, make me smoke an extra ounce. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with that. I don't have the capacity to deal with them ebbs and flows, all that emotion. I refuse. You know you're going to have some there and there, you know what I'm saying, with people. That's again, you know, hey, man, people have bad moods, have bad days. That happens. But you talking about a real, live, emotional roller coaster, and then you want to blame it on your zodiac sign? I ain't going through that. It's definitely stressful. It's extremely stressful. And it's not fair to the other person who has to deal with that.
It's the Aries in you, man.
That's what we heard, so that the Aries in you. Ain't no Aries in you, it's the error in you. No, but all jokes aside, that's just, you don't have control over your emotions, and you're allowing your emotions to dictate how you behave and how you interact with other people. It would just be better to say, tell somebody, I'm in an emotional state right now. I'm not really thinking my best. Forget, because then if you put that out there, then you already told them what's going on. Now it might be easier for this person to interact with you because they know, okay, they're emotional right now. You know what I'm saying? So they could have some ebbs and flows. I know this. Versus you expecting somebody to figure that out. Man, that junk could turn you to alcohol. You wonder why some people be drinking out here. They got to go home to somebody who crazy. Come on, Philo. Proverbs 1:20.
Wisdom cry out, she utter her voice in the streets. She cry in the chief place of concourse and the openings of the gates. In the city she utter her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity?
How long will you love being stupid?
And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I'll pour.
Turn you at my what?
At my reproof.
What'll happen?
Behold, I'll pour my spirit unto you.
He said, if you turn at my correction, I'll pour my ruach on you.
I'll make known my words.
And I'll make my words plain to you.
Because I have called and you refused.
But you, when I called for you, you said, nah, I ain't coming.
I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
That man was on that stake with his hand stretched out. You didn't care.
But you have said at nothing all my counsel, and with none of my reproof.
You ain't want none of my correction.
I also will laugh at your calamity.
So when your trouble come, I'm going to laugh at you.
I will mock when your fear comes.
You understand how serious that is, that this man say, when your calamity come, I'm going to laugh at you. And when your fear come, I'm going to mock you. What else he said he do?
When your fear come as desolation, and your destruction come as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer.
He said, I will not answer.
They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
And you're not going to find me.
For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahuwah.
And you know what get him to that point? Because he was trying to reach you before the end. See, this ain't just something that he doing just to do it. He said, I called for you and you didn't answer. I reached out before you and called for you so I could correct you and get you in line, and you said no. So then at that point, he gonna cut you off. And when he cut you off, he's done with you. The reason why people have a hard time grasping that, is because in the natural, a lot of people don't really cut people off like that for real. So people be shocked when human beings actually do. When somebody really like, hey, I'm cutting you off, people be shocked because most people let you come back and do that bad behavior to them all over again. You know what I'm talking about? What I mean by that, this woman cheated on you, this man cheated on you. I'm not talking about an isolated incident. I'm talking about continually, and you steady take them back. And then you say one time, nah, I ain't fooling with you no more. And then they begged and pleaded, and you took them back. You telling them that I can continually mistreat you this way because you will let me come back in because you allow it. Yahuwah's not going to allow you to continually mistreat him and disobey him. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Yahushua not going to do it. He said the same. He said, you better go and sin no more. Less what? Man, them man don't play them type of games. That man say he an austere man. Rigorously self-disciplined and uncompromising. You know what compromising means? That's taking less than what you want. That man's not taking less than what he want. If he want 10, he want 10. You can bring me 11, you can bring me 12, but you got to bring me 10. Don't bring me 6, don't bring me 8.5. Bring me 10. People don't want to hear that, Simmons. But what we supposed to learn that at, Simmons? With Cain and Abel. Cain didn't bring him what he wanted. He didn't take it. He didn't take it. Man, there's a lot of instances of people in this book who brought this man opposite of what he wanted, and he didn't take it. How many of y'all done took a gift from somebody you know you didn't want, and you acted like you liked it? Look at Monica. I have. Johnny gave it to you. Your mama did. That's an affirmative. My people done brought me stuff, and I done looked them in the face and said, I appreciate it, but I'll never wear this. I don't like it. Tell you, my cousin bought me a turtleneck because Rob was wearing turtlenecks at the time. I don't wear turtlenecks. I don't want this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at him because he do. If that's your thing, that's your thing. That's not my thing.
They said you was gonna be fly, man.
No.
That boy said you're heavy around the neck, man.
Heavy around the neck is insane. That is insane. That's crazy. That's just not my thing. I don't have a problem with it. Everybody got their thing. That's not my thing. Like what I will ask me, like, why you don't wear the whole hoodie and sweatpants? I never have. You know what I'm saying? I have a hoodie. I have on jeans. Like that's never been my thing. Yeah, I never wore whole sweatsuits. Nigga, one, we live in Florida. Let's get that out. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I had, man, I didn't keep crack in no hoodie pocket, man. My crack was in my shoe. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, my crack was in my shoe. You know what I'm talking about?
So you gotta keep that fire in the hoodie.
Man, I ain't need no pistol while we were standing there. My pistol was in the car. You know what I'm talking about? Can't be standing in front of no corner store with no pistol on me like that, man. You going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that wasn't ever my thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just like I told you, I put that picture up on there the other day. That first jersey my mom ever bought me. That's why I started wearing. That's not everybody's thing. Everybody got what? Hey, that's your thing. That's what you like to do. You know what I'm saying? Ain't my thing. Turtlenecks, nah. Maybe if we lived in a colder climate, maybe it'd be different. But nah, I don't want nothing. Got my neck covered up, man. Look like I got a condom on.
Your bottom, son, please. Your bottom.
I don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Hey, like this here. I wear wallabies. Everybody doesn't like them shoes. You know what type of shoes you like to wear? You like to wear boat shoes, don't you? No, with socks on. This nigga, the only nigga in America wear boat shoes and socks.
You wouldn't understand.
This nigga get on a boat with socks on, with boat shoes on. This nigga disrespecting the boat. This nigga probably wear loafers with socks. Oh, you draw the line now.
Yeah.
Some females
Shut
are
up.
soft with heels.
Nigga, what?
It's a fashion statement.
And on the event,
If she got on socks with heels, she country and smoke crack.
That's a new thing.
You wouldn't understand. Generational.
They ain't generational. Somebody misled them. That's what happened. You got on open-toe shoes with socks on? Lord have mercy. I'm glad I stay in the house. Y'all ladies be walking around here with socks with y'all heels on? Oh nah, I mean shoot. I've never seen nobody in all my days with socks with heels on. Yeah, I seen that. Them niggas were lame. Well, I remember that, boy. I seen a couple of that.
No socks.
Nigga got on clear Air Force Ones, man.
No socks.
He got on translucent shoes. Nigga, aquarium shoe, man. Nigga, man.
That's like the one when they came out with the Melissas. You ever had the Melissas?
Lord have mercy.
No socks.
I ain't never seen that. Hey, do you stay on? Because it's your shoes and your feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm older now, so I wouldn't rank on them. But if I was in my teens and 20s, I got jokes. Unsolicited, too. I ain't even got to know you too well. You know what I'm saying? You say you need to be going somewhere extravagant to wear heels? The way your dogs be barking in a few steps? My heel days look like they just behind me. Okay. She said she need to go to a formal event. You don't look like you go. You look like you go to a formal event, eat all the finger food.
Sit up.
Don't leave nothing for nobody.
Lay down tight. Lay down, go get your business.
All the finger food. You just sitting over there. You ain't gonna talk to nobody. No, they got pigs in the blanket. Come on, man. 14 and 11. Isaiah 14. Now he said, your pomp or your majesty or your excellence will be brought to the grave. So this is what we're gonna do. John 6 and 60. Who is this white woman on your shirt? That's your favorite movie, huh? You ain't never seen Scream, but you got the white woman from Scream on your t-shirt? That's amazing. Have some slides with you. Shoot, I wear slides all the time because my feet hurt. Every time I put some shoes on, I regret it. Especially when we be working. I had shoes on yesterday working. I regret it. I came home and put them slides on as soon as I could. As soon as we got that bed, I took them shoes off. What? I regretted it too. I don't like to work with shoes on. My feet hurt. Everybody be looking at me crazy. Dude seen me demo on the floor. He talking about, you ain't got no boots? Does it look like I got on boots, nigga? The floor is halfway gone. No damn boots on.
You don't care about the work site. All we got on slides.
Everybody. One dude I know, man, Obi told me, he said, I'm going to buy you a pair of work boots for Christmas. I said, you better save your money. Hey, I don't work at a construction site. OSHA can't get me for a trash out or a clean.
I got this figured out already.
Been figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't say nothing, I don't bring no shoes. If they say something, I keep a pair of shoes in the car just in case. Because I'm finna get right. I'm gonna get by with them slides every time. Every time. I'm so direct with it, they don't even pay attention that I got slides on. Yeah, people be looking crazy like, you work out in slides in the gym? Of course. That was by accident, though. That was by accident. Me and Nell happened to go to the gym one night, and I had slides on. It wasn't an attended trip. And then I seen Arnold Schwarzenegger worked out in slides. Hell, behind, Ronnie Coleman, that's the greatest bodybuilder of all time. If he did it, why not? Yeah, if you deadlift, it's better. And squatting, it's better.
You one with the earth.
Yeah, you want something to give you more stability when you squatting and deadlifting. It's not a bad idea, especially if you got a good arch in your foot. I'm flat-footed, so it don't matter. Come on, man. 14 and 11.
John 6 and 60.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Say it out loud.
John 6 and 60.
John 6 and 60.
Say many therefore of the disciples, when they heard this, said, "This is a hard saying. Who can hear it?" And Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it. He said unto them, "Does this offend you?
That's right.
And if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before,
If you see the son of Adam ascend up where he was, what
what
else?
it is the ruach that quickened, the flesh profit nothing.
The words
That I speak unto you,
they are
ruach and our life.
what else?
But there are some of you that believe not."
Now I just read that for verse 62. It said, "What and if you shall see me ascend to where I was before." Now he said his pomp or his excellency or his majesty is brought where? To the grave. That ain't the devil. The devil ain't never been brought to no grave. Not near time by nobody. Isaiah 14:11. Now the noise of your viols. What does this mean? Of course, when you're dealing with noise, this is hymn-yah. This is sound or music of instruments. This is more than likely where they get he was the chief musician. Now this is Nabal, Noon, Bat, and Lamad. You know, this is a skin bag, a jar, a pitcher, an earthen pitcher. So the sound that comes from this earthen pitcher. Now, do you recall where someone is made akin to a musical instrument? Where one is made akin to a musical instrument. He said, "Your excellency is brought to the grave, and the noise of your vials, the worm is spread under you, and the worms cover you." If you remember, it's two different words for worm used here. Rima and Tola. Rima is maggot, worm, sign of decay.
Are you talking about Ezekiel?
I am. Ezekiel 33 and 30, Civic. Now the other one is worms, which is Tola, which is the crimson or the scarlet worm species. When she's ready to give birth, she attaches her body to the trunk of a tree so firmly and permanently that she will never leave again, and the eggs deposited beneath her body, thus protected until the larvae are hatched, are able to enter into their own life cycle. As the mother dies, the crimson fluid stained her body and the surrounding wood. So this is akin to a worm that affixes itself to a tree and then bleeds on it to produce her young. My God, sounds very familiar. Now that's continue.
"Also, you son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls and in the doors of the houses.
What they saying?
Speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that come forth from Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
They come unto you as the people come, they sit before you as my people,
And they hear your word.
but they will not do them.
Why?
For with their mouth they show much
But
love,
their heart,
go after their covetousness, and lo, you are unto them as a very lovely song.
you have with them as a very lovely what?
Song,
That play what?
one that have a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear your words, but they
They
do
will
them
not
not.
do them. Didn't he just describe him as one who having a very lovely voice, as one who plays well on an instrument? You know what I'm talking about? And this is what it's akin to. Remember what got the unclean spirit off of Saul?
We played that.
The flute. It's a flute.
Played a little flute, a little wind instrument. What instrument that is? My
It was a harp.
That's a violin.
Harp from a flute.
No, the harp is a little.
The string.
That they always show the angels playing. They make
Okay.
them-
I'm thinking about what instrument is. That's a violin. Them things don't sound like violins.
They teach them how to do the strings first, but she ain't bowling, so it's about
You play the violin? No, you look like you just want to blow on the trumpet.
I did.
I must say with no shame.
I did.
Or was it the saxophone? Whoop was in there playing the clarinet. Yeah, my cousin played the clarinet. Muffin, you played any instruments in school?
I just played sports.
I don't recall. The piano. This nigga is talking about he's a pianist. He ain't gonna know the piano. You played the flute? I bet you did that.
That's that Peter Pan.
That's that Peter Pan.
Oh, that's like
Yeah, you right here trying to bring the people out there with you, huh?
Pied Piper.
Pied Piper. My God, today. But again, like when you look at that worm, that second worm, that tola, that crimson, of course, you know, they put the crimson robe on it. The affixing to the tree, the bleeding down on the tree, because his excellency is brought to the grave. Read the rest of John 6 and what Peter gonna say to him. No, you're actually not, sir. You've been moving around quite frequently. You're gonna lay down, lay down. You can't get mad at somebody because they don't want you screaming all on them. You got bones, sir. John 6 and 65. Muffania, get down.
And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except they were given unto him of my Abba. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
No more.
Then said Yahushua unto the 12, will you also go away?
What did Peter say?
And Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. And we believe and are sure that you are that Hamashiach, the son of the living Elohim.
Have I actually seen that crimson worm before? I have not laid my eyes on it. Let me see if I can pull one up. The worm is called the Coccus ilicis. It's the dye made from the dried body of the female of the worm. Coccus ilicis. Worm, scarlet stuff, crimson. Give him Isaiah 1 and 10.
So hear the word of Yahuwah, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our Elohim, you people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices?
I don't know if you can see it because I can't turn my light on. They done changed this junk with this update. But that's what it looked like. That is a crimson worm. Mama Steph, I'm going to send you a photograph of it. Yeah, it says it's a low-growing shrub-like tree. Here's another instance of what it looked like. Said it's and the Israeli common oak, also the Palestine oak. Okay, that's a bet. Appreciate that, Craig. They say on these particular trees are found an insect that in earlier times were called Coccus ilicis in the Latin, the modern name of the Kermes virlimo. The designation of the virlimo is telling us that this little guy is a worm. Although small and seemingly insignificant and not particularly looking much like a worm, this little insect was the key source in ancient times for the precious dye color called crimson. In fact, the word crimson itself comes from the word kermes and can be traced back to the Arabic al-kirmes, crimson, which was likely originated from the ancient Sanskrit word kimerja, meaning worm made. The dye is extracted from the bodies of these insects and is closely related to the carmine, another red dye, sometimes used in foods as a coloring agent. In fact, it was only until the relatively recent discovery of the New World source of carmine that crimson from Kermes virlimo was the primary source for red dye in the world. Today, along with other sources for red, carmine is more predominant, and dye of the Coccus ilicis is not as widespread as it once was, and that's what it looked like. Blood. Matter of fact, I just sent you the whole link. So when you see that the worms under you, it's more so talking about either the offspring is under you or the blood. Then, of course, you have the decay from dying, but you know that he would not suffer his Kadash one to see what, Civic? Corruption. There it is. Isaiah 14 and 12.
You want that Isaiah 1 and 10?
Oh, yeah, 1 and 10. Come on.
Say, hear the word of Yahuwah, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our Elohim, you people of Gomorrah. To what purpose the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahuwah? I am full of burnt offerings of rams, the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who have required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Shabbats, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even your solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hates. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. When you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you.
You spread forth your hands. Guess what? When Mashiach was on the tree, he spread forth his hands. What his father did? Hid his eyes. Go ahead.
When you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full
my
of blood.
Elohim, why have you forsaken me? He didn't answer.
Wash you, make you clean.
Wash you, make you what?
Make you clean.
And to do what?
Put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes.
And what else?
Cease to do evil. Learn to do well.
And though your sins,
seek judgments. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless.
And though your sins,
come now, let us reason together. Say, if Yahuwah, though your sins be as scarlet.
Why did he say, though your sins be as scarlet? Tell them what scarlet is. Why would he make that statement? Why would your sins be as scarlet? What does that mean?
Shawnee is scarlet, crimson.
What color is blood?
Red.
It's crimson. They'll literally describe blood as a crimson color. Now, us layman people would say red, but people in that field would say it's crimson. So there's nothing wrong with us saying red. Because, you know, crimson is a different color. You know what I'm trying to think? Alabama jersey is crimson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's red. Like, it's so many different doggone colors when it comes to certain, because somebody will look at Alabama and say, that's burgundy. But it's really crimson, red. Matter of fact, I think the 49ers colors is scarlet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how blood look when it come out. You know what I'm talking about? So why would he say, though your sins be as blood? Of course, because he say your blood be upon you. Go ahead.
Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.
They shall be as who?
As wool.
So guess what that means he gonna do with them sins? Purge them. Purge them. Stop my book. Come on back to Isaiah 14, verse 12. The verse that everybody has a problem with. Now, all of this is dealing with the fact how we were talking about last night. I ain't even getting to the birth part yet. Us being formed in him and the tribulation that come with that. Obviously, that's going to be next week. But mainly because nigga had a problem with us saying Lucifer ain't the devil, we'll run it down. And then after that, we ain't going to talk about it no more. Nigga could just ask, and we could have did it last night. It's not that serious. 14 and 12.
They say, how are you falling from Shamaim, O Lucifer, son
Pause.
of the
How
morning?
you falling from where?
Shamaim.
Now look at Lamentations 2:1 and read that. Because everybody going to look at Luke and say, I saw Satan falling from heaven. But he said, what? Oh, how are you falling from heaven, O Lucifer? What does Lucifer mean? Who name also mean day star? My God, today. Now ask yourself this here. If you a day star, number one, star is Kokab. So that means you the son of the day. How is the devil the son of the day? When Elohim is light and no part darkness and there is no truth in Satan, according to John 8 and 44, he can't have no light. He called him the son of the morning. One thing you can't be a son and be disobedient. All these people will tell you, he a son of God, not if he disobeyed. He said, if you without chastisement, you are what? So how is Satan the son? When did he chastise him? Hey, Dookie J. Come on, Joanne. Start, Joanne. Joanne, you can't make something appear that ain't here. You won't pop on butt. Don't you wake up my son. Come on.
They say, how have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down?
What that sound like to you? Making it go dark around the what? The noonday? Go ahead.
And cast down from Shamahim unto the earth the beauty of Yasharal.
He cast down from Shamahim what?
The beauty of Yasharal.
So is Satan the beauty of Yasharal at this point? Why did the Israelites want to kill him? Because they said, you being a man, make of yourself Elohim. Would he not be proud in them people's mind? Now come on back to Isaiah 14:12. Come on with it.
Isaiah
14:12.
Say, how are you fallen from Shamaim, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
And you cut down to the what?
Ground,
which did what?
weaken the nations.
And you said in your heart,
I will ascend in the Shamaim.
Now ask yourself this question. Where do you ever read Satan say that he will go into heaven? You need another witness. Where's another witness that says the devil said, I'm going into heaven? Can you find me where Mashiach said he would go into heaven? We read one in John 6:62. He said, what and if I ascend back to where I was before? What about when he said, it's expedient for you that I go away? If I don't, then the comforter won't come. He said, where I go, you can't go. There are multiple places where he said he'll go back into heaven. Find me one where the devil say he go. Then he said, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Who are the stars of God, gentlemen? You know who the stars of God is, Kelly? You got to be a little bit more specific. It's like on Jeopardy. It's not the answer's not wrong, but you couldn't get the money. We talking about we want to make sure you get the money. We have to ask the judges in the back. Just said I don't know. She did. She right there. Yes. Stars is Kokah, which is the progeny of Mashiach. You know what I'm talking about? Now you know in Psalms 45, he said he's anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. And he says in Hebrews chapter 1, you can get it for him, Sid. 1 and 5. Yeah, that is the only time. Like I said, Satan is not discussed that often. You know what I'm saying? You'll have people who give you contention that Satan wasn't the serpent in the garden. We're not here to argue either or. If you say that he is, then that's one instance. The next instance, I don't think you see him again until Job. You know what I'm talking about? No, I take that back. You see him again in Chronicles and Samuel with David numbering the people. My apologies. Then you see him in Job, and then you see him resisting Yahushua, son of Jehozadak. You know what I'm saying? It's forfeits by name and plainly. Outside of that, no. You know, he's alluded to in Daniel as being the power behind that particular individual. You know what I'm saying? But this is not, he's not somebody who has a great in-depth story that's discussed because he is a bit player. He gets more conversation in the New Testament, and then even in that one, he don't got that much detail there either. You know how you know this? Because as soon as the unclean spirits who down with him saw the Lord, they were terrified. What was that unclean spirit's literal words? Have you come to torment us before the time? That means they don't have no power. So how can somebody who was concerned with being tormented before the time gonna go back into heaven to exalt his throne above these stars, and these stars who fell with him telling you, oh man, this man gonna kill us before the time? A cherubim is a covering Malachim, that would mean that he would have had to been on the throne with Yahuwah. So I haven't seen anything in the word other than what people try to use in Ezekiel 28, oh covering cherub. Nah, I don't. That's not the devil, because the cherubs cover the throne. That means we'd have to say Satan fell from the throne, and we don't have no word for that. I think Satan in this instance is usually only used for one particular instance, as the book tell you that Elohim cannot be tempted with evil nor tempt with evil. That's just his job. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it.
Is it safe to say like he has some type of rank? Because in Revelation 12 it says he fought him and his angels fought Michael. And we know Michael is a higher rank.
Well, we know Michael has a rank, but I don't mean Satan did.
I was going to say because it said and his angels.
What I mean, because Satan rebelled, and clearly he took some people with him. So they like, you know what? We're going to boss up and fight y'all then.
That made it seem like he had authority. And he said,
we got authority over those who go with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But he crafted and created his own authority. It's not necessarily authority that came from on high. You know what I mean? But you know, that's not just... And this is not to castigate or ridicule or denigrate nobody. It's the aspect of these stories and these narratives, where are we getting them from? Do you examine the text to make sure that the words say that? Or are you just going with a thought process and notion that everybody... Look here, right? Most people never question that Lucifer was the devil. You know why? You never had a reason to. You also know why? Because it was never relevant to your life. Whether you were going to church or not, it wasn't relevant to your life. It was something that you would say, rehash, simply because that's what everybody else said. You know what I'm saying? Is he fallen, Molech? Now, see, Molech is the owl god. You know what I'm talking about? And that's the deity that them people that they will offer the children in the fire to. So Molech in and of himself is not necessarily a fallen deity. It's just don't even do it. It's just a deity created by man. We can read a little brief history for you, on Molech. Just a little quick one. Molech is the Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice. Some scholars believe that Molech may refer to the act of sacrifice itself rather than a god. Molech has been depicted as a bull-headed idol with outstretched hands over a fire. Molech has been used as a metaphor for any idol or cause that requires excessive sacrifice. Mentioned in certain literature and popular culture, he's in John Milton's Paradise Lost, which, of course, if y'all recall, that's the first book that actually said that Satan was Lucifer. You know what I'm talking about? That's where it comes from. That is, yeah, but he made that up. I mean, I ain't got nothing else for it. He also appears in Salamambo by Gustav Flaubert. He appears in Metropolis by Fritz Lang. Howl by Allen Ginsberg. Of course, he appeared in the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. How many of y'all was in here watching Buffy? Lord. The TV show wasn't scary. I know you did. You watched Gilmore Girls.
Okay, but leave my stuff alone, bro. Don't touch my stuff and sit down. Like I already told you, bro. Sit on your
Lee, you watch Gilmore Girls? Oh, Lee, go. Oh, you watching Dawson's Creek? 7 Heaven. Oh, same genre. It was also in the film Molech by Alexander Sukharov, and then a 2022 film called Molech. Also, you know, Molech is the deity that is at Bohemian Grove. According to Richard Milhouse Nixon, he said Bohemian Grove, and I quote, is the most goddamn faggotiest thing I've ever encountered in my entire life, end quote. I'm not making that up. You can research it yourself. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? He said that those men would go out there and cross-dress and sing show tunes, among other things. Bohemian Grove. Oh, freaky behind nigga, you 69 God. Bohemian Grove was also mentioned in the what was that movie? No. Hey, Mama Steph, what's the name of the movie where dude was in jail and he was playing the devil? Nefarious. Yeah. He mentioned Molech also. He said that modern Molech sacrifice in that film was abortion.
Oh yeah, he did.
He said when stuff goes bad or when something bad happens, why do you think people blame the devil? Because they don't know that Isaiah 45:7 say, I Yahuwah create light, the darkness, good and evil. I Yahuwah do all these things. He said, if there be evil done in the city, have I Yahuwah not done it? Because people don't want to accept the fact that some of the bad things that happen could be consequences for your sin. Some of the bad things that happen can just be time and chance. Sometimes some bad things that happen just be that some people are evil. You know what I'm saying? And then, because the devil don't really have that type of authority to do evil against anybody unless Yahuwah give him permission to do it. Basically saying you can look at what he told about Job. He said you could do X, Y, Z, but you can't take his life. So that means he's got bounds. Yahuwah said, you know what? You could do X, Y, Z to him, but you can't kill him. But if he send you to kill you, that means he done with you. Man, if Yahuwah let the devil come kill you, that means Yahuwah don't fool with you. You know what I'm talking about? Unless it's the aspect of you being killed for the esteem of Yahuwah, like say the Lord, when Satan jumped in Judas' body, it jumped in Judas for Judas to be an adversary, to be an enemy. I haven't said this in a while, but this is the reality of the situation. When you're not filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, Satan can use you at any time. What does that mean? That means when the word is not in you and you're not in the word, you are acceptable of becoming adversarial against that which is righteous, just, holy, and clean. You know what I'm talking about? Whether knowingly or unknowingly. But I would say this here, Satan cannot overtake anyone unknowingly. You got to invite him in. And you invite him in with a contrary heart towards that which is just before the throne of God. Satan just ain't got the ability to be like, come here, I'm going to take over you. No, that's not how that works. Because if Satan and his minion have possessed you, they're going to cause you to harm yourself, not go sin.
And then Yahusha said a parable about the stronger man of the house.
We read last night, hey man, he would have been able to bind him up and not let him in his house. You got to let Satan in. If you look at certain films that deal with people like fooling with Satan, you'll always see that Satan was like, let me in. You got to let him in. You know what I'm saying? Satan just can't come in your house. Satan just can't come overtake you. You have to allow him in. And you know how Satan get in most people's houses? Their lust. The lust is how he gets you. You stay out your lust, he'll never take you down. You stay in your lust, and Satan's going to get you. Because you know how he's going to come in? He's going to be coming in there whispering. Because that's what he is. He's a whisperer. He like to whisper in the wind. That's why when you're going through things, you never isolate yourself. Most people are not spiritually strong enough to isolate themselves in a time of tribulation and hardship and take Satan head on. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I wouldn't recommend it. Because when you're in a spiritually weak state, man, that man can implant all type of thoughts in your head, man. You know what I'm saying? In a thought process that I'm so strong I can do it by myself. If the Son of God himself didn't think like that, we shouldn't do it either. Which goes back to why I always mention this right here in Job. I mentioned it last night, but I didn't read it. I'm going to read it right now. Right here in Job 41:15. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. Boy, if the people did what they were supposed to do and stick close, Satan could never get in. Sticking close don't mean everybody got to live together. Everybody got to talk to each other every day. And you know what I'm saying? But you got to be down with one another. You got to be locked in. See, I can't speak for what other people do, but y'all already know you got to be locked in. You locked in, how Satan going to get in and work something? He can't get in and work something because everybody going to know that's the devil. But when people fragment it, the devil can come in and nobody would recognize it. Yeah, you have to stick together. You know what I'm saying? People don't stick together. And there's a multitude of reasons why people don't stick together. Most of the time it's because people selfish as hell. You know what I'm talking about? Really, that's the number one reason. Really, that's the number one reason. Most people just selfish. You know what I'm saying? They're self-centered and they're only concerned with themselves and their own personal objectives. So it's going to be extremely difficult for you to stick together to other people.
You go see him.
Some people don't stick together because they've never seen it before. They don't know what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come from poor family dynamics, and people be looking for that. And a lot of things. That's why niggas join gangs. That's why a lot of niggas join sports. You know what I'm saying? Some people come into the quote-unquote churches and whatnot, and they looking for the same thing. How many of y'all watch Nefarious? I would recommend you watch it. It's amazing.
I see. Yeah, we got a couple more films. We got a lot more films too.
They were only amazing from the aspect of how they framed how Satan worked. Because everything that we talking about right now is literally how they framed how Satan worked in that film. Why are you talking so soft? You don't talk like that any other time. Get the hell out. Get out. Get the hell. I don't care that you live here. Get out. You can't come back for at least another 30 minutes. At least. It ain't that scary, Mika. She said, I don't want to watch it by myself. It's a psychological thriller. The movie is really based on Buddy talking to him in the interrogation room in a prison. That's pretty much where the whole film is set, is in the interrogation room. What you were saying now? Yeah, he basically in the film, and it's been a while since I've seen it, talked about how they degraded the family structure, convinced people to get abortions, just degraded in society, period. The only difference is he was causing Buddy to murder. And you don't read any unclean spirits causing nobody to murder. Come on, Sam. Every time you see somebody who had an unclean spirit in the New Testament, that unclean spirit was causing them to harm themselves. That's why I've been told you that he got a lust spirit. No, he ain't got no lust spirit. He's just a common freak. There ain't no lust spirit on him. He's just a horny bastard. You know why people like to do that? It's easier to put the blame on somebody else than take accountability for your actions, to take accountability for your lust. That's all we've been taught to do word-wise is to obfuscate and deflect and not take accountability for the bad decisions that we make. Listen, right? Bad decisions to be made. You're a human being. Okay, that is what it is. But when you can't take responsibility for them, you'll never rise above them because you will always do them. And you'll look for somebody to blame. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's my mama's fault. It's my daddy's fault. It's the white man's fault. It's the school fault. It's my baby daddy's fault. It's my baby mama's fault. It's my wife's fault. No, you just are a horrible person. Because once you get to a certain age, don't nobody want to hear that. Once you hit 30, 40, 50 years old, don't nobody want to hear about what somebody did to you when you was 15. Nigga, you got 30 years of bad decision making. Nigga, you better go get a therapist. Ain't that right, huh? Go ahead.
Hebrews 1:4.
Yeah. Jamal.
Say, being made so much better than the Malachim, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they.
So wouldn't it make sense that he would exalt his throne above the stars of Elohim?
Yep.
Go ahead.
For unto which of the Malachim said he at any time, you are my son, this day have I begotten you.
Now, which Malachim did he ever say, you my son? Well, you read that at, because Psalm 2 say what he just quoted, today you are my son. Ask of me and I'll give you the heathen. You give inheritance to sons. Satan ain't a son. What inheritance he got? Besides the lake where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched. Why would he show honor to this weaker vessel? How was he useful to his husband? He was not. Continue. He was useful to his own lust.
And again, I'll be to him a Abba, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bring in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the Malachims of Elohim worship him.
That's right.
You know, the Malachims, he said, who make his Malachims ruachs and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son, your throne, O Elohim, forever and ever, a scepter of righteousness, the scepter of your kingdom.
He said that the Malachim are flames of fire, heirs to who? Was ministers to who? The heirs of salvation. Their job is to serve those who will inherit the kingdom. I mean, they lesser than. And again, stars is literally the Hebrew word kokav. You can look it up. It literally means progeny. The sons of Mashiach. That's what it means. I'll read it for you, just in case you like, that nigga making that up.
When those Malachim, which you read, are servants to those that are heirs of salvation, I always looked at that scripture as, he that's greatest, let him be a servant.
That's pretty much what that is. Kokav, star. Of Messiah, brothers, youth, numerous progeny, personification of Elohim's omniscience. A blazing star, figuratively a prince, a stargazer. But then it say of the Messiah, brothers, numerous progeny. You know what I'm talking about? If you of the Messiah, guess what that means? You come from him, right? Okay, very well. Isaiah 14 and 13 one more time. This would be the verse that you have to consider that most people overlook because they don't know where this is at. But y'all know where it's at.
For you have said in your heart, I will ascend in the Shamaim. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I'll sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Before any of you in this room answer that question, for those that's on YouTube and on Clubhouse, can anybody tell me where is the mount of the congregation according to the text? And where is the sides of the north according to the text? Because the text do tell you where it's at. Where is the mount of the congregation? Remember now, if it say that he will what? Sit upon the mount of the congregation, where do you see Satan say he gonna sit on the mount of the congregation? Where is that mount? Who is that congregation? Where is the sides of the north that lead you to the mount of the congregation? The book tells you. Men may not tell you. Yes, Jerusalem is the place. Isaiah 2 and 1, Civic. Can anyone tell me where the mount or the sides of the north is? I'll tell you by definition what sides of the north is if you like. Sides is Yerakah, flank, side, extreme parts, recesses, side, recesses, dual, border, coast, part, quarter, side. That's not really going to help you out, but nonetheless. And north, Saphon, north. Come on, Civic.
The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos,
It
saw
is in Psalm said, you are
concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the last days, the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established in the top of the
mountain of
mountains.
Yahuwah's house will be established where?
In the top of the mountains, it shall be exalted above the hills,
Will this not be the mount of the congregation?
and all nations shall flow unto it.
What's going to happen there?
Many people shall go and say, come you, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah,
And what happened
to
after
the house
that?
of the Elohim of Jacob. He
And
will
what-
teach us of his ways.
That's it.
We will walk in his paths.
Come on.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. He shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into
That's
pruning
good.
hooks.
We've established the mount of the congregation is in Jerusalem, correct? Give me Matthew 5 and 30. And then Luke 1 and 30. See how that goes back to when we were talking about Most High and it's dealing with a Davidic king because he's called King of Kings and what? Lord of Lords. He will be the Most High above all the kings on the earth.
And if your right hand offends you, cut it off and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. It have been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorce.
got you in the wrong place. You just keep on going until I get it.
But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes to commit adultery. Whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, commit adultery.
Yeah, 33.
Again, you have
Matthew 5:33.
Again, you have heard that it had been said by them of old time, you shall not forswear yourself,
Zion is Jerusalem.
but shall perform unto the Lord your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by Shamaim, for it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king.
Jerusalem is the city of the great king. That's what it said, right?
Mhm.
Luke 1:30.
And the Malachim said unto her, fear not, Mary, for you have found favor with Elohim. And behold, you shall conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, shall call his name Yahushua. He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest.
And he shall sit on.
And the Lord Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
Where's the throne of David at? It's in Jerusalem. So Satan gonna sit on the throne of David in Jerusalem? Where Satan got that at? Where that promise at? Go ahead. You good? Coming to Psalms 48:1. Now, all of this here, because it's going to get to the point of what we were discussing last night. Him getting to sit on this throne is a part of extending honor to the weaker vessel. You know why? Because it's the same thing that he said in Revelation chapter 3, verse 21 or 22, maybe 20. Y'all know what he said in Revelation 3? You know what he said, glory? Don't look it up. Don't nobody look it up. Put your guns down. Put your hands up.
What verse is it?
Revelation 3, 20, 21, 22. That man said, he that overcome, will I cause him to sit in my throne, even as my Father has caused me to sit in his throne. That is extending honor to the weaker vessel. And you know how he got to sit on this throne? Because he had to go in the grave first. I think people overlook that part. Before him to be the Son of God and become the king through the line of David, he had to die and resurrect from the dead first. Which is what Isaiah 14 is telling you. Before he ascended in heaven, he gonna tell you, he said, you're gonna go to the pit. And I think the Lord told them all that too. But you want to say it's the devil. Why? Because Mr. Charlie told you it was the devil? Because the nigga at the church house told it to you? But did you search the scripture to make sure that that was talking about the devil? No, you didn't. And you know why you didn't? Because most of us didn't.
They never thought to search the scriptures. They just said,
And
read the
hit the
Bible.
negative, and most of us didn't.
They said, read your Bible.
Bet it up, Craig. Because I ain't never think about, you know, the first time I thought about what, I never even thought about Lucifer being the devil till me and Nell had a conversation in 2013. And then we looked at it and then came to the proper conclusion that it was referring to Yahushua. It was never none of that in it in my mind. I ain't had no thoughts on the matter. You know what I'm talking about? And if we was to go to the first channel, you would see the video from 2013 where we discussing that. And clearly that's something the Lord wanted us to discuss for her to ask it. I forgot what she was looking at that made her ask that. But it was definitely not nothing that I was concerned with. You know why? Because I don't be thinking about the devil. You know about you niggas. But I don't. Let me think about that nigga. Go ahead, man.
Say, great is Yahuwah, greatly to be praised in the city of our Elohim.
In the city of our who?
Our Elohim.
Remember, Jerusalem is the city where he did what? Placed his name at.
He said, my eyes are always over you.
Come on.
The mountain of his Kadash.
The mountain of his what?
Kadash.
The mount of the congregation.
Beautiful for situation. The
Zion.
The joy of the whole earth. Mount Zion. The sides of the north.
The sides of the who?
Of the north.
The sides of the who?
The north.
My God.
The city of the great king.
The city of the great king. So the sides of the north are in Jerusalem. Ezekiel 48 and 30. That's what the book said, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to make sure that ain't what I said. Let me see if sides of the north are the same words over there in Psalms 48. So you go where you going. I don't want nobody to think I'm just making this up. Because he said beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth, Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. Didn't the Lord just say the city of the great king is Jerusalem? So Satan finna sit over Jerusalem. Okay. I didn't need to make sure. Great for beautiful for situation is height. So that's Yape Nof. Beautiful, handsome. It's beautiful in its height, in its exaltation, if you would. And guess what the size of the north is? Yerakah Saphon, same word. Now go to Ezekiel 48 and 31 and tell them what that says.
In the gates of the city, after the names of the tribes of the Asherah, 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, 1 gate of Yehuda, 1 gate of Levi.
What gate of what?
1 gate of Reuben, 1 gate of Yehuda, 1 gate of Levi.
And what side they on?
The north.
That's your sides of the north. Most don't realize that you have to go through the gate of the tribe that you belong to. Now we could get in Ezekiel 46 about the gates where the prince go through, but that's why I say the sides of the north. So you telling me Satan finna go through the north gate of Judah to sit on the throne of David? You understand how asinine that is? That these people been lying to us? Read verse 14, Isaiah 14. He said he'll do what? He'll ascend where, Sid?
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
I will be like
the Most High.
Don't Philippians 2 say, man, let this mind be in you, the same mind that was in Yahushua HaMashiach, that he thought it not robbery to make himself equal with Elohim. Didn't these people want to stone him because he said, I and my Abba are one? Say it's a bit half-baked. Yeah. I ain't going to say it's half-baked because I don't want to ridicule people for that. More often, people just are reluctant to let go of Lucifer being the devil because that's what you've been told. But I mean, everybody been told that. Whether you were an ardent churchgoer or not, whether you were an ardent scripture researcher or not, a studier or not, most majority of all of us have heard that. And the mass majority of none of us questioned it, thought about it. Look here, when my sister asked me that question, I had been in the word for 4 years at that point. It wasn't nothing that ever came to my mind. We never talked about that. We talked about this man in the volume of the book, but that wasn't something that we were locked in and zeroed in on. Like Lucifer's the devil, Lucifer's this. We never talked. It wasn't nothing that came to my mind. You do the sir? So that's what that sounded like. It sounded like you pushing one out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just to be honest. It is. But the reason why I say that, Joseph, is that one, it's a lot of loose ideas out here, but a lot of them aren't common. But Lucifer being the devil, I mean, they made a whole television show about it. They make movies about it. You know what I'm saying? It is a common prevailing notion amongst the populace that no one questions. You know what I'm saying? You just roll with it. So in that aspect, I could understand why. But when you go to examine it and you see that it's not the case, you're going to get so much resistance from people because at the end of the day, we blaspheme it. When we say Lucifer is the devil, we're blaspheming. You know what I'm saying? Because now you just call what is good evil. Because read verse 14 again.
So I'll ascend above the heights of the clouds. I'll be like the Most High.
But yet,
you shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Before this man ascended on high, what did he have to do? Before he could sit on the throne on the mount of the congregation, which we established is the city of the great king in Jerusalem, which is the throne of David, what did he have to do?
Go down to the grave.
He had to go down to the grave. And why did he go down to the grave? Because I will multiply your sorrows. I will multiply your pains and conception. And your desires go. He desired to go do this. Didn't we just read, I didn't come down from heaven to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me? He desired to do this. Now, yes, text does tell us, Mother Throne, that 1/3 of Malachim did follow after Satan. Let's get Revelation 12:1 for that. Now, that is accurate. We're more so dealing with the aspect of, now the Lord said, I saw Satan falling like lightning from heaven. And there's a passage in the Old Testament that speak to that. It's not the ones that most people go to because they go to Isaiah 14. But nowhere does Satan ever say he wanted to sit on the throne of David. Because you got to know what the amount of the congregation is. I've heard people say the size of the north is all type of things. But the book tell you what the size of the north is. So then you would know who it excludes and who it includes. But I'm mentioning all these things because we talked about the pain he went through last night. And even before that, when we were dealing with the buying the testimony and the sufferings that he went through all that suffering so he could get the honor unto the weak, so his father could give him the proper respect. That's why he said, which end of the Malachim at any time if he called them a son. You understand the level of reverence and respect the man is getting from the Almighty Abba because you was willing to lay your life down and do something nobody else was going to do. And you think you ought to give that esteem to the devil? Because a cockamamie half-eyed preacher told you that was the devil? Absolutely not. And if that offends you, then you can unsubscribe. I don't care. We've been on this for 12 years. And we can go through this any way you want, anytime you want, however you want. It's really light. You know what I'm saying? It's really light. It's not even that deep. Because what do we believe, Civic? Don't read John 5:39 just in case they forgot. And then we get back for that for Emma, Revelation 12.
So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life.
But they are they,
which testify of me.
And that's what type of time we on. And that's as simple as that. Don't care who agree, don't care who disagree. You know what I'm saying? We're not finna say what you want us to say because you think that's what it should be. Don't care. One thing we ain't never did, Stanley, is what? That too. But we ain't never switched, changed, or did nothing. We ain't switched nothing, changed nothing. Oh, like, oh no, we used to believe this, now we believe that. We ain't never did that.
You had to apologize and repent.
We ain't have to apologize and repent for nothing, and not because of no pride, like we can't be wrong. By the grace of God, he gave us the right work the first time. He ain't turn around and say, oh, I know that's a bad pack, but make it work. No. Niggas got mad because niggas said that. So you saying you ain't never been wrong? That ain't what I said. You know what I'm talking about? I say we stick. See, I ain't like the rest of you niggas. I ain't talking about none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about I stay in my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is the testimony of the Son of God. That's the amen, Joseph. That's the ability he gave. And I stay in my wheelhouse. I ain't trying to be this. I ain't trying to be that. And when you stick to faith, holiness, righteousness, and godliness, you ain't got to change nothing. You ain't got to change nothing. We talking about people's souls, man. We ain't got time to be like, oh, I know, no. This would be better if I cook it like this. We got time for that, man. People's souls on the line. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, what y'all doing to my nephew?
So why would he give you a bad word to give to his people?
Why would God give you bad work? For you to turn back around and say he gave me good work this time. How should I believe you?
I don't know these states. I never seen it.
He don't do no errors. Man make errors.
Right.
Come on with it.
Saying there appeared a great wonder in Shaman. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. She being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. There appeared another wonder in Shamahim, and behold, a great red serpent having 7 heads and 10 horns.
That's right, Omar. You can never go wrong.
7 crowns upon his heads, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of Shamahim.
His tail drew the third part of the stars from Shamahim.
And they cast them to the earth. And the serpent stood before the woman, which was ready
to be delivered. They cast them where?
To the earth.
To the where?
To the earth.
I thought they got cast in the grave.
To the earth.
I thought they was in heaven.
To the earth.
Go ahead.
Which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim into his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place.
That's what I'm talking about. This right? So yeah, a third of the Malachim came down with it. Like I said, man, and I say this sincerely, by the grace of Yahushua, man. Like, nah, man, we not really. We just spit straight gospel. That's what we've been doing for the last 13 years. Ain't did nothing different. Ain't gonna do nothing different. Don't really concern myself with what other people are preaching and teaching because that's not my business. You know what I'm talking about? Not because I think I'm better than them. That's not my business. If most of us would just focus on saving your own soul and being an example to those around you and walking with brothers and sisters and mothers who in the word, we'd be better off. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to force nothing on nobody, but being an example of what it is that you say you represent. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. It ain't that difficult, man. It ain't that deep. But you got to be 100 with yourself. You got to be 100 with your God, and you have to ask yourself, is this what I desire? Because you know why we preach the gospel all the time? Because when real life stuff happen, you keeping them laws ain't going to do nothing for you. When that anxiety come, them laws ain't going to do nothing for you. When that tribulation come, them laws ain't going to do nothing for you. Matter of fact, even in the law, you know, he tell you to do certain things in the law as forth as mercy and kindness, but the reality of the situation is this: either that's in you or it ain't. Meaning, if the word of God is in you, then you're going to represent his character and being that way towards people, man. So that he can extend that honor to the weaker vessel. Like we've been discussing. The honor comes from the usefulness of the woman to her husband. So Mashiach was useful to his father because he had a longing and a desire and a craving for him. Do you love this man with a perfect heart and a ready mind? Do you long and crave for him? How useful will you be for him so that he can extend honor unto you? And then that's how you see it trickle down naturally. If your wife is useful to you, why don't you give her the respect that's due? This is what the Father did to the Son. This is what the Son does to all those who love him. You know what I'm talking about? Like this is the pattern of the example of the behavior. When the Son was weary, what did the Father do? He strengthened him. Why would he strengthen him? Because this man been doing my will. Let me extend the honor and respect due. Because he's heirs of the grace of life. You know what I'm talking about? What does the Son do to those who believe on him and follow him? Let me strengthen them when they weary. Because they're the heirs of life. Let me extend that honor to my wife because she has been serving me. So then what do you do for your wife? You see how that works? That's why I said we were going 2 and 3 layers deep, not just say, yeah, man, extend honor to the weaker vessel. Do the no. You got to look at the behavior. If the Father did it, what excuse do you have for not doing it? You say that's right. When I had going on, though, it's sometimes hard to tell people who I had on my. Sometimes to let someone know, indeed, to emotionally spiral. Indeed, and you have a few people, and that's what a lot of people. And again, a lot of people's biggest problem is, like I was talking about a couple weeks ago, they expect people to know. You want people. Don't nobody know what you got going on in the inside of you, man. People can see you might be having a hard time. They might like, shoot, nigga ain't saying nothing. They got it under control. Sometimes you gotta, hey, man, well, I'm going through it, boy. You know what I'm talking about? That don't make you any less of anybody. You know what it make you? A human being. You know what I'm talking about? But we feel like I shouldn't have to say nothing. You know what that is? That's your selfishness and that's your pride. That's main character syndrome. That's you thinking that your whole everybody world revolves around you and they paying attention to you and they locked in and focused on you like they ain't got stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? That means you don't care about what they got going on. You only care about what you got going on. You never even considered, damn, that nigga might be going through something too. Oh, nigga ain't called me. Hell, you ain't called nobody either. I hate when niggas say that one now. I don't call people. They don't call me. How many people did you call? How many people you went and seen about? But you talking about ain't nobody calling and see. You wonder why ain't nobody called and seen about you, nigga, because you don't call and see about nobody. People like this here, man. They say, look here, even at a runway at the airport, it go both ways. You can take off and land. Look, ain't that serious? And goddamn it, why does it matter? If you really godly in the first place, why you care about who calling you and seeing about you? Don't you care about these people? So your care is only contingent on the care you get back. Boy, you wicked as hell. And I don't like stuff like that, personally. You know what I'm talking about? Your care for people is only contingent to the care that they show you. Is that really godliness? Or is you just flawed? Man, there's real stuff going on. Like I just told you, man, my homeboy died yesterday, man. That nigga young, boy. Whole neighborhood going through it, boy, because he a good dude. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know how he died. You know what I'm talking about? You just showed me she going through it. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, her husband laid up in the hospital. You know what I'm talking about? And they pretty much know that the it's dim. You know what I'm talking about? And when you look at that, people got that going on. That stuff you go to putting stuff in perspective. Yeah, what I got going on is tough for me, but what about him? Because that's tough right there. And guess what? Because you know what the messed up part people do? The nigga be selfish as hell. Nigga be going through something. They telling you about it. You want to tell them what you going through. That man they ask you for that damn information, nigga. Be a friend. When it's your time to talk about it, then you talk. Wait till tomorrow and call him and tell him, man, I'm going through it too. Don't do that right here. What's wrong with you? Unless you going through the same thing they going through identically. You be like, shoot, well, I'm going through the same thing, bro. I feel your pain, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That's different. If you be like, man, I just lost my job. Shoot, nigga, I just lost mine too. That's different. You ain't trying to be main character right there. Y'all going through the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? You right here talking about, yeah, my mama just died. Yeah, man, I got in a car accident yesterday. Boy, I lost this. You selfish nigga. You supposed to put that on the back burner. They ain't ask you for that. Ain't nobody ask you for that information, man. Learn how to be a friend. You know what I'm talking about? Learn how to care about somebody other than yourself. You know what I'm saying? But we live in a selfish society, so there's that. You know what I'm talking about? So that just is what it is. And that's just in general. Because that's why a lot of people be frustrated, whether they in the word or not. Man, people don't really concern themselves with what people got going on. You know what I'm saying? Praise you, Lord. No. You know what I'm saying? People got stuff going on, man. It's hard out here, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like just in life in general. It's hard out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And if we supposed to say we supposed to be in the word, then it's supposed to be a level of care and concern. But you can't expect people. I'm not God. I don't know what you got going on. Like I told you this before. Like I say, you know, ladies, it'd be different with y'all because y'all talk. Like men don't necessarily like to burden their friends with their problems. Because he know as a man, he already got a lot to carry on his shoulders simply because he is a man. This doesn't mean that women are wrong to do that. Y'all are socialized different. So when y'all go through something, it is more natural for you to pay attention to these things. Oh, girl, what's wrong? I see men ain't socialized like that. So it has to be, unless he like, no, you, he gonna not know, he not gonna know something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to know you. I'm talking, this is man or woman. Like that nigga gotta know you to know, like, hey, something off. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you good? You know what I'm talking about? Nah, not really, boy. I got this here going on. But you know, ladies, y'all, like I said, y'all socialize different. And that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all growing up, then y'all were more inclined with your friends to talk about what you had going on more than men do. You socialize different. Men keep that stuff to themselves, not because they don't want to talk about it. If this nigga got 3 kids, he got to figure out, I don't want to talk to him about what I got going on. Now I feel like I'm dumping this on him. He already got some junk to deal with. I'm going to leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Indeed, and definitely, nobody is a mind reader. You can't expect people to be mind readers, especially if people not around you in the flesh. Don't nobody know. Nobody know what you got going on when you go home. Nigga been sitting in the dark for 3 weeks. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't told nobody what lights was off. How anybody gonna know that? Go ahead, get me second. He mentioned this here. 2 Timothy 3:1. I say that because that's how you stick together. Like we read in Job, if you communicate when you got stuff going on, then you can stick close. When you don't communicate, this is what happens. Because now you start looking at everybody feeling, oh, they don't love me. They don't care about me. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't said nothing. Absolutely no. You ain't. And the reason why I say this, because when the Lord was depressed to death, he grabbed his apostles and said, hey, man, I'm exceedingly sorrowful even unto death. Come pray with me.
Nigga said something.
He said something. They didn't look at him and say, man, I think something wrong with the Lord. Let me ask. They didn't have the chance to do it. He said something. He said, what if you reached out to a person numerous times, but they don't reach out? Should you still care? In what regard? If you're reaching out because you have a genuine care and concern for that person's well-being, whether they reach out back to you is irrelevant. I say it's irrelevant because if you checking on somebody and seeing about somebody is genuinely who you are, then continue to be who you are. Because you seeing about somebody, there's no way for someone to misuse you. If they don't do that, that's just a reflection of them. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Never let the behavior of other people change intrinsically who you are. If you are a caring person that see about people and concerned with people's well-being, then continue to be that, because that's the example of the reflection of the godliness that exists within you. You don't alter that because other people don't do this, that, there, and the third. Never let people fundamentally change who you are at heart. Once you do that, you're no longer yourself. And the devil is one. And when I say that, I'm talking about the adversary, the enemy, and his wicked minions. They've wanted that. You know what I'm saying? And why let him get that victory? Because we know everybody may not necessarily call people all the time because life be going on. Most of y'all are grown, meaning y'all got children, bills, and things of that sort, husbands and wives. You know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily be like, screw everybody, but you can get caught up with your family. And guess what? You ain't wrong. Let me see what nigga got. Says fourth is energy. You can care, but you can choose. Yeah, now you definitely can choose how much energy you expend. I mean, you don't have to bend over backwards for people, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Calling somebody just to see how they doing, that don't cost you more energy. You know what I'm talking about? That don't cost you nothing but a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really. The energy come in at is because y'all be emotionally attached to the wrong people and you get drained emotionally. That's why you feel like it's draining, because you've attached yourself to energy vampires. There are people out here who are definitely energy and emotional vampires. They will suck every bit of life out of you. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that you avoid. You know what I'm saying? Their interaction, it ain't worth it. People act like that costs a lottery. It don't cost you nothing. Nigga act like checking in on a nigga cost you like you really did something amazing. Nigga, you was gonna pay your phone bill regardless. You know what I'm saying? No, it don't cost nothing to holler at nobody, but don't be fooling with people who drain you of your energy, drain you of your spirit. Them people, you gotta leave them people alone. Where you going, boy? Boy. But that's all I got, y'all. Hallelujah for y'all. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yeah, it don't cost nothing. Thank you. Well, you don't have to chase after people. See, this is the thing, right? You reaching out to somebody is not you chasing them. You chasing somebody when you're begging for connection, when you're begging for interaction. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you call somebody, they don't call you back. Oh yeah, I'm not begging nobody for no interaction. Because if people want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at it the way my granddaddy told me. That's their loss. That's their loss. You know what I'm saying? That's their loss. Hey, Benjamin. You know? Yeah, that's their loss. All right, you approve. Yeah, that's their loss. You know what I'm saying? I say, man, there's no everybody going through it in some form or fashion. But as long as We stick to our Elohim, to your Redeemer and your Savior, and stick close to each other, everything be okay. You know what I'm saying? Most people been done so wrong, they don't even really know when people really fool with them. Saying like we were talking earlier, like say like with Big Greasy, like with Trad them when they found out, oh, keep the Sabbath different. They thought it's supposed to be some beef. Cause we don't believe the same thing all the way the same. Like, nigga, that's my real life friend, cuz. You think I'm gonna fall out with a dude that I got love for about a doctrine, nigga? Absolutely not. This nigga been in my house. I've been in his house. What are you talking about? And that's why I always tell you, most of these people, they don't love each other for real, man. Like, man, if we fool with people, man, we fool with you. I don't gotta talk to, man, I used to talk to little bro every day, damn near for 2 years straight. I ain't gotta talk to little bro every day. You know, if he need me, he call me, it's going down. Same way I call him, boy, I'm just checking in with you because I ain't heard from you. Same thing with his cousin. Same thing with these men sitting in here. Same way, plenty of times I done put my phone number in this chat. Man, you need me, just holler at me, my nigga. You're coming around here all the time. Why wouldn't you be able to? You ain't got to necessarily call me about no word. Like, if you wanted to call me about some word, that's fine. We can talk about some word. Nigga, if you wanted to call me to talk about, man, I watched WrestleMania last night, you can call me about that. Like, it ain't got to be, oh, I'm going through something. Man, we real niggas over here, man. Straight from the collard green patch, man. You know what I'm talking about? Peace, brother Omar, bro. Like, well, we real people, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can holler at a nigga, man. Straight like that. Shalom, Sister Virginia. Straight like that, man. That's all it is, man. If we just be real people in this thing, man, we'll get further along. But let me get up out of here, man. Appreciate you, Eric, man.
Right here, bro.
Get back with it. For sure, man. You already know what time it is, Marvin, man. Like I said, man. I use Marvin and Robert on here. And you will have mercy on the soul, Sister Ophelia. Man, these people, however they ran across the channel, that's how they ran across the channel. You know what I'm talking about? Then he said, hey, man, let me holler at you. Reached out, then they pulled up. Same thing with East. I don't even know how the dude who gave East the channel, man, he hollered at me like, hey, I want to put your vocals on the song. Bro, we've been down with each other for damn near 10 years off of that. Like, straight up and down. Same thing with Johnny Ghost. It ain't no different. Man, we ain't know this man is forth is hanging out with this man. Met the first time we met him, man. He like, man, come to the house. And we kicking it with each other like we known each other for 15 years. Yes, ma'am. I won't forget that. Same thing with Mother Sharona. Came right on down here. Like, straight like that. Like, boom, man. And it's going down. And you can holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And not just me, but everybody in it, because I encourage everybody to be tapped in. Just don't be like, I only want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? You need to tap in with everybody. You don't never know when people gonna need somebody, man. Everybody got different skill sets. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no one-man army out here, man. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man, let me get up off of here. Y'all willing to the next one? Oh no, it ain't a new record, baby. It's a lot of things, but a new record.